Shoot it straight. Fagan and Biegel in the morning on Hot Talk, KOAN. And now, Fagan and Biegel.
I hear nothing, Brian. Wait. All right, welcome back. Or welcome though. We haven't started the show yet, have we? This is the beginning of the show, right?
We've been doing the show for 4 hours, Dan. Where have you been?
Oh my goodness. You know what? I believe if my calendar is correct, I believe today's Friday.
Yahoo! Friday.
Bonnie Cameron.
Our music when we
Glen Biegel. Dan Fagan right here. We're going to, we've decided, the three of us, that we're going to get together and have a big brawl in Ocean View.
All right.
Like 20 of our closest friends.
Beer.
Brian will come.
Invite the kids.
Brian will be driving the stretch limo that we get out of.
Yeah, my dad used to live on Harbor Circle, so
there you go. So you
I know how
the
to get there. Yeah.
I'm going to go out today and buy some flag-draped high heels.
What does that mean?
Well, she had
Do
these.
you know what he's talking about?
She had these silhouette. What do they call those? Big stiletto. Only they were draped in the American flag.
And he needs some.
How do you fight in high heels?
You can kick some serious butt in high heels. Well, some of them are scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do damage.
I never understood women wearing those things. Do you wear those, Bonnie?
Not if I can help it.
Yeah, I don't understand that. It seems like that's kind of a Muslim thing.
Well, extra toughs are coming back, so.
Wearing high heels is a Muslim thing? You're not allowed to wear high heels. Well, I guess you could be in a burqa in high heels. No one would know.
It's the same spirit in that it demeans women.
It demeans them.
It does. To make women walk around on something that's not walkable,
that
has these basically what I think the male-dominated oppressive culture is saying to women. We so disrespect you. We're going to make you walk in these shoes that no man would ever in a million years dream of using. And I think it's an anti-woman thing.
This is a competition thing.
I know they wear it for themselves, not for the man.
Yeah, I was going to say they do it to themselves.
That's probably true.
Yeah. Yeah, they compete with each other, to look better, and they make your legs look longer and tighten your calf muscles. I don't know, there's all kinds of interesting things that happen from high heels.
Have you ever thought to yourself, why that woman's attractive? She has a tight calf muscle. You have? I see. I've never been a calf muscle guy.
Okay.
I've noticed the calf muscles.
Yeah, I've never.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Really?
Wish I had that.
I don't like muscles on women. I don't like muscular women.
Yeah. Well, this was something that changed. I think Terminator actually did it.
Yeah.
That was when I noticed that the leading lady,
Linda something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had these biceps. Where you looked at him and went, wow, that's freakish. I'm glad my wife doesn't look like that.
Yeah, no, it's true. And so many women today, especially in their 20s and 30s, they have arms that are ripped.
Yeah.
They're not necessarily bulky ripped, but they're just, and I don't like that. I want soft and squishy.
My husband wants the same thing.
Yeah, and most men do. I've never known any man who says, I want a muscular woman. But women do that for other women.
Yeah.
They don't realize that that's not really attractive to us. Especially like in their stomach, when their stomach starts to have, the six-pack thing.
Right.
You're a woman, right?
Be plump.
No, I'm not, actually. I'm not.
And there is
I don't have a rip.
And I'm going to offend people right now. Why not? It's Friday. These women muscle shows?
Yeah.
Come on.
Tanned all up and oiled all up.
Oranged all up.
Yeah.
That's hideous.
I have friends who do that. I don't know why they do it. That's gross.
Well, why do you think they do it? Let's just say that they weren't your friends.
They probably won't be now.
Well, no.
The one thing I love
they know a lot of people feel this way. This is not a shock to anybody who goes out. People generally, Dan's view here of women being muscled.
I would probably say it's attention.
But why would you?
More attention.
I mean,
yeah, well, it definitely gets you attention, absolutely.
Why not just go out and buy a T-shirt? Look at me.
Well, and especially when you go and do the competitions and stuff. And, they're trying to better themselves.
I
used to do some DJing for some of those competitions.
Yeah.
And backstage they're applying all this stuff and just making themselves, their skin as dark as possible because of the muscle reflection or whatever. But honestly, I really would rather see them not do that.
What are these women like? Are they like kind of macho women? Do they, hey, Brian, how's it going?
No, not at all. Actually, more of it's fitness than muscle. Yeah. That's more of the what they do. It's just about fitness.
It shows that they're more fit if the more muscles they get.
They're not really building muscle to be bulk, like Arnold.
Or
anything.
That's another group I don't understand. These dudes that have these, I don't think women like that either, do they? I don't know. I'm not a woman. I've never been a woman, but
it depends on how big they get.
But like
the ultra.
Yeah, these guys. I mean, some of these guys are so huge.
And they wear these itty bitty bikinis, bikini bottoms. It's gross.
That is disgusting.
It is nasty.
Is there anything nastier than a man in a bikini bathing suit? You go to Europe, you see it all the time.
I'd say spandex.
Yeah.
Well, one big thing.
I've seen some spandex shots that were bad.
These shows here, a lot of the categories, I could have entered and gotten third place.
Really?
Only because there just wasn't that many people in shape enough to join.
Do you remember that great Saturday Night Live skit with Chris Farley and Patrick, who's
Swayze?
Then they were trying out for the Chippendale Dancer.
Yeah.
And Swayze, he had a perfect body, and Chris Farley was like 400 pounds. And it was such a hard decision for the judges. That was such a funny skit.
That was awesome.
I'm thinking of Hans and Franz.
Yes.
We will pump you up.
Hear me now, believe me later. Yeah, that's right. That's some funny stuff.
I hear those would be illegal, by the way. If the Democrats get their way, they're going to pass some kind of campaign finance reform.
And
Saturday Night Live would not be able to do skits anymore about our lovely...
I thought it was Ted Cruz leading that.
Yeah, Ted Cruz and the ACLU are both on the same page. They say, look, if the Democrats get their way, they will fundamentally change what we can or cannot do.
They're always trying to silence the other side.
They've got people there. They don't need anybody else. I mean,
political season would never be the same again without that.
Let me tell you something. Let's just assume the nation elects another leftist, and Republicans don't get control of the Senate, and we get a couple of more leftists on the Supreme Court, we will not be on in the air in 3 years. I promise you. The fairness doctrine is not that far away. Now, I understand Rush Limbaugh's got 15 million listeners, and all there's tons of people listen to talk radio, but the leftists, that's not of a concern. As long as they got 50 plus 1, they don't care about pissing off the rest of the country.
Well, you see that with amnesty. You see that with our borders.
Right. That's right.
No president in history would have been able to say, I don't really care about the laws. Heck, I want a whole bunch more people here. Our incomes have been falling for 10 years.
Yeah.
And the idea that the president can continue to wage war on our incomes, it's amazing.
Palin
getting away with it.
Would you call it Palin Brawlgate?
Rumblegate.
Rumblegate.
We're going to talk about that next. Stay with us.
Rumblegate.
We're going to talk about that next. Stay with us.
Don't just sit there. Give them a call. 569-1080. Join the conversation. KOAN.
Trailboss Solutions is your local award-winning, nationally recognized construction and remodel firm. From handyman services to kitchen design and remodel to custom home construction, Trailboss Solutions has the experienced professionals to take your project from initial design through completion, on time and on budget. Trailboss Solutions is the only call for all your construction, design, and remodel needs. Please visit us on the web at trailboss-solutions.com or contact Trailboss Solutions Direct at 646-1403.
I'm Leslie Moore. I teach 7th grade here in Anchorage. I'm tired of the DC outsiders coming to Alaska to falsely attack Dan Sullivan. Don't believe their dishonest ads. The truth is, Dan Sullivan has stood up for Alaskans and delivered results. I've seen it firsthand. After the financial crisis, my pension took a big hit. It was a difficult time for all Alaska teachers. But Attorney General Dan Sullivan fought back, forcing a Wall Street firm to pay for their malpractice. putting almost $500 million back into the retirement fund for Alaskans.
Dan Sullivan stood up to Wall Street and Washington as our Attorney General and DNR Commissioner, fighting for Alaska.
Dan Sullivan stood up for me and every Alaskan teacher. He's a man of the highest integrity, and he will fight for Alaskans, not for the big money special interests. This is a...
Tonight, we are going to witness the most anticipated... Tonight, we are in the history of professional wrestling for the heavyweight championship of the world. Are you ready? Wrestling fans, are you ready?
FM.
.17 in the morning, Friday morning, September 12th, 2014. It's good to see that Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie here on your radio, KVNT in the Valley, KOAN in Anchorage. It's good to see that there was no terrorist attack yesterday. I think a lot of people were worried that.
Yeah, actually, the first thing I did in the morning was look at the news.
Yeah, yeah.
That's pretty bad.
I think that I expected something because it just, they like to do things on 9/11.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
That well, it's really kind of hard to describe.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Yeah, that's right. Former Oil and Gas Commissioner, former Wasilla Mayor, former beauty queen, former half-term governor, has turned boxer.
And now current MMA superstar.
MMA.
Oh, no.
And she did it with heels on.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently she had flag-draped, what is it, stiletto heels.
I read platforms, but I don't really know what any of that means. So.
As she pulls up in her stretch limo with her drunk shirtless son, swinging daughter. And by swinging, I don't mean she goes out and parties. I mean she actually literally swings her fists.
She backs up what she's got to say.
And in all of it, apparently, according to witnesses, the former half-term governor yelled out what I think will be her legacy. Don't you know who I am?
Mm-hmm.
When she really should have been saying, don't forget who we are.
Well, so Amanda Coyne, who, by the way, how embarrassing is it for the rest of the journalists in this state to have Amanda Coyne on the field?
Oh, she keeps showing them up every single day.
Embarrassing.
It's been embarrassing. She's more places than all the other journalists, quote journalists, put together.
And here's what I love about it: the Alaska Daily News Dispatch, whatever they are, fired her. And she's on a vengeance. She's like that movie with Denzel Washington, Man on Fire. She's tearing it up.
Yep.
So here's the deal. We know that where the party was. It was in South Anchorage. It was in Ocean View. We've heard from a witness now. His name's Eric Thompson. He was the designated driver for the evening, so he wasn't drinking. He said the party was at Corey Klingmeyer's home, who was the office manager at McKenna Brothers Construction, I guess. Most of the party was outside. A live band was playing. People were dancing. Thompson noticed two girls wearing sunglasses. Now, keep in mind, it's nighttime. Walking with an unusual amount of confidence around the yard. He only noticed them because of the sunglasses. That was odd, because it was night, he said. His wife told him it was Bristol and Willow Palin. Does she think she's Marilyn Monroe? He said to his wife about Bristol. Todd and Sarah were there also. A lot of Iron Dog people were there. According to another witness, Palin wore platform high tops.
Sneakers.
So
those are sneakers.
Oh, so that's not so high top. What's a high top? Oh, so like something that Michael Jordan would wear.
These things.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I automatically, this is how little I know about women's clothes. I think a high top is a high heel. Okay. So scratch my remarks about her fighting with high heels. She was fighting with high tops with the American flag on them. Track was there, and so was Bristol's son, Tripp. They had all pulled up earlier in the evening in a stretch Hummer limo. It was also Todd's 50th birthday. He, along with McKinnon Brothers and Klingmeyer's son, was celebrating a birthday. It wasn't long until after that things started going horribly wrong. According to Thompson and a handful of others interviewed for the story, screams erupted, profanity spewed, fists flew. This is just a typical Saturday night at the Biegel household.
Oh, this sounds like fun.
The Anchorage Police Department was called. APD released a statement on Thursday confirming that multiple people were involved in the fight. However, at the time of the incident, none of the involved parties wanted to press charges and no arrests were made. However, and this is a big however,
whoa,
the case is still an active investigation. It is being reviewed by APD and the municipal prosecutor's office. Alcohol was believed to have been a factor in the incident. Some of the Palin family members were in attendance at the party, the statement said. That's the police statement. And now Amanda Coyne writes, as I had reported a few days ago, multiple accounts said that it started when Track confronted Willow's former boyfriend, Connor Cleary, who was there with his father, Steve, and his mother, Melissa. Thompson said, this is the witness, didn't see this part, but other witnesses who didn't want to be named say that Connor and Track fought on the front yard. Steve tried to break it up. Todd jumped into the mix and began to choke Steve. After that ended, Connor, Steve, and Melissa huddled together close to Thompson, who spotted Bristol and Willow from a distance walking straight toward them with a purpose.
Get out of there fast.
The plot
All right,
thickens.
holy smokes.
Thompson said they were on a beeline coming straight at Melissa.
Yikes.
The owner of the house, Klingmeyer, was trying to head them off at the pass. He approached them and told them to leave. Bristol, according to Thompson and other witnesses, planted her feet, stood straight up, brought her arm back, and cold-cocked him right in the face. Then she did it again, 6 more times, before he pushed her away. And she fell, and Todd appeared. I was thoroughly amazed at the restraint Corey showed. He's a gentleman. This, of course, is while Bristol's swinging at him, or actually hitting him. Another melee. This time, Sarah got involved and began to scream profanities at everyone. One source, who didn't want to be named, said that she was nearly on top of people trying to get into the scrum. As these things go, that also broke up, and the Palins were asked again to leave. They piled into the Hummer, but not until Track stood in front of the house, inexplicably with his shirt off, his middle finger raised at those who were also leaving. Then the cops came, took statements from about 10 people, including Thompson. It's unclear who called them. Thompson thought it was the Palins. It was a really nice, mellow party, Thompson said. Then it turned into Jerry Springer's show.
That sounds like fun. Oh my gosh, I've never been to anything like that. That is amazing. Well, alcohol just does not mix with,
I don't think
people
with the Palins.
with the Palins.
No,
maybe that's it. I don't know.
I know Track apparently is a big drinker, but I don't think Todd and Sarah are big drinkers. I don't think alcohol motivated them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is my speculation. They're just very defensive. Everybody's out to get us mentality, and that I think that's probably what.
So
Some people are.
Do you think this ruins her chances for the presidency?
I don't think so. I really think this enhances
it.
Yeah, this enhances it. She could do a reenactment. We could have a movie made of this. This could be a big part of it. No, I don't.
It's so disappointing.
Look, if she were a Democrat, this would enhance.
Probably.
Well, nobody'd care.
Well, no, they'd be like, this is fascinating. We'd love to have her as president because then it'd be fun to see what she would do.
So it doesn't sound like there's any video then coming out.
I would think, I don't know, maybe somebody's shopping it down to all the major media outlets. I'll take 10,000. Who goes 12? Who goes 50,000?
Yeah.
You can imagine what just having a wide shot all this, especially Sarah yelling profanities. I can't imagine. You don't buy it?
Well, I just can't believe somebody didn't.
Yeah.
So you think
At least get a picture.
So somebody's got something.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I would think if you had a video of Sarah Palin climbing on top of people to get into a fight as she yelled the F-bomb and other choice words, I think that tape would be worth an incredible amount of money.
Maybe $1 million.
It may be.
Maybe everybody had to get rid of their cell phones before the Palin showed up.
Well, you think about
part of their.
Well, you look at what
disarm everyone.
Well, you look at like Entertainment Tonight or TMZ, all these shows that I can't stand. If they had this video and they just teased it, coming up on Wednesday, Sarah Palin caught, their ratings would go through the roof for that night.
Oh yeah. That'd be huge. It would be played on all stations, including probably Fox. This will be interesting to see what Fox does with this, if there is video.
She was on Hannity last night.
Okay.
And I didn't watch it because I know Hannity would never ask her about it.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Which makes me lose all respect for Hannity.
Right. The same thing is true for Levin, I found over time.
Oh, they're just total kiss-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. They never looked into the difficulty she had with the oil industry here, the tax increases that she did, the $1,200 for the energy rebate.
And that's one thing we love. That's one thing we love about our friend Bonnie.
Yeah.
Even though she's a conservative, she's not afraid to go after conservatives. Like when we had Dan Sullivan on the other day, and I think the question is, why are you so evil?
How did you become so evil? I think it was something like, how did you become so evil?
No, actually, Herman Cain said something this morning that made
News Nugget.
Yeah, News Nugget. Herman Cain. He said, "I'd rather have an imperfect Republican than a perfect Democrat."
Was he talking about Sarah?
No, he was talking about the people calling in worried about lukewarm Republicans.
6:29 is the time. Bonnie Cameron, Glen Biegel, Dan Fagan. Our number 569-1080. I love it. I love it. The KOAN is where we're broadcasting on, and KVNT. Stay with us.
You're on with
unfunded liability in the public employees and teacher retirement systems. The legislature found $3 billion.
Those that choose burial go to the gravesite. If cost drives your choice, let us know. We will work with you regardless of your financial situation. When you need to choose a funeral home or crematory, or are asked your recommendation, be sure your choice is Jansen's Alaska Cremation Center, where, just like family, we're there when you need us.
Hey, look, more fresh halibut arriving in the seafood departments at New Sagayan City Market. Fresh halibut and a great deal. You can buy the whole cleaned and headed halibut for just $11.99 a pound. Plus, the seafood ninjas with the flashing blades will cut them into steaks, fillets, or whatever, no charge. So take advantage of New Sagayan City Market's low price on whole fresh halibut and fill your freezer for the winter, just $11.99 a pound. Also in the seafood departments of New Sagayan City Market, another boatload of fresh silver salmon in the stores. Special, just $4.99 a pound for the whole fish. Good price. In the butcher shop at New Sagayan City Market, boneless, skinless chicken breasts are special, just $3.99 a pound. Great economical meals you can cook on the barbecue. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $3.99 a pound at New Sagayan City Market. Nothing like ripe, crisp apples for the fall season, and right now in the produce departments at New Sagayan City Market, it's fresh, honey crisp apples. So juicy you'll need a big napkin. Just $2.49 a pound. Great for snacks, treats, or desserts. It's all at New Sagayan Midtown and City Market 13th and I.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go. Check out moviesak.com.
Find movie showtimes for Anchorage and the Valley at moviesak.com. Check out trailers and reviews updated daily. Moviesak.com, your local location on the web to find out everything you need to know before you go out. Register for free movie tickets that are given away every week and the grand prize of movie tickets for life. Did you know that one of the state's premier medical facilities is located right in the heart of South Anchorage? Thanks to the Alaska Neurology Center, there's no need to leave Alaska anymore when it comes to treating the nervous system. You'll receive the best care at the Alaska Neurology Center for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, brain injuries, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, multiple sclerosis, speech disorders, and they offer pain management as well. And if you're having trouble sleeping at night, the Alaska Neurology Center has the best sleep disorder experts in the state. They also have the most sophisticated MRI imaging technology in Alaska. If you need relief from stress or from migraines, relax in their luxurious spa. At the Alaska Neurology Center, their massage therapists are amazing, and they offer hydrotherapy, infrared sauna, hot and cold therapy, and shiatsu massage. And their medical spa also offers facials and waxing. The Alaska Neurology Center, located on Diamond and Old Seward.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player.
An elementary school teacher.
Oh, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream. For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. on the Talk of the Valley, KV.
Well, it's official now. This is now officially gone mainstream. 1 hour ago, ABC News is reporting Sarah Palin's family in Alaska house party brawl. Sarah Palin and her family were at the center of a lively party last weekend and erupted into a fight, with daughter Bristol Palin throwing a right hook. A man who says he was a guest at the party told ABC News. She was punching him, another man, in the face like 6 times. It was an assault if I've ever seen one, Eric Thompson said, adding that he was among 70 guests at the birthday party. It wasn't a light punch either. She was really hitting him. I'm surprised he just sat there and took it.
When women hit men in the movies, come on. This is real life, sister. When women hit men in the movies like Angelina Jolie and all of her 90-poundishness, you know, he could be a SEAL.
That's right.
He could be Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he will drop like a sack of potatoes. I don't know how that didn't happen. Bristol's pretty beefy.
ABC News reports political blogger Amanda Coyne reported that Sarah Palin, along with husband Todd and kids, Bristol, Willow, and Track, arrived in a stretch Hummer, and that the fighting started as the beer started flowing. Yeah! Hey, y'all want to go over to the Palins this weekend and drink some beer?
No, let's just start fighting right now.
Yeah! Don't you know who I am?
You know who I am.
I'm going to take my shirt off right now. Rumblegate. Let's do it.
In my shade.
Rumblegate 2014.
My.
What kind of shoes you got on over there?
Them people in the lower 48.
What do they call them?
Platform high top.
Platform high top.
Them people in the lower 48, they don't get it how it is up here. We don't mess around. You gonna mess with us? We're gonna come in our Hummer and we're gonna let you know how it is.
I will cut you.
Don't make me cut you. One heartbeat away from the most powerful human being on the planet.
Look, I hate to tell you that, but this endears me more to Sarah than ever, because she's a real American. You know, this goes on for all these super powerful people.
That's not
just
true.
Never makes the media.
Have you and your family ever gotten a big brawl?
I'm not a super powerful person.
No, you heard about the Kennedys?
Sean Parker.
Yeah, well, Kennedys.
Yeah, the Kennedys.
They just killed people. They didn't get in brawls.
I bet they were in all kinds of brawls.
And again, there's double standards for conservatives.
Oh, yeah.
You can drive a woman off into a lake and leave her there dead, and you can still be president in the leftist world. In conservative world, that's not allowed. Now, Bonnie asked a question earlier in the broadcast. Will this mean that she will never be president?
I should hope so.
Of course, she was never going to be president, honestly.
But let's just say,
after that interview with who was it? Katie Couric, and then the other one with the guy with the
Charlie
Gibson. Yeah.
Charlie Gibson.
Well, that was our first one.
Holy smokes! Well, see, that's the problem. Is she put herself into a position where she couldn't be president. Even after that, I think it was over.
You know, there's one clip, and most people I don't think know this, where Tina Fey is playing Sarah Palin, and she gets a question from Katie Couric. This is a skit.
Mm-hmm.
And so Tina Fey does the answer, and it's hilarious, right? It was word for word verbatim of what Sarah Palin actually said.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, Fey made it funny because of her mannerisms and the deer in the headlights look. But they didn't even have to write comedy. It was the something about, you know, she just, we should play it. It was just, there's a clip on YouTube where you hear the Tina Fey version, and then immediately after they play the Sarah Palin version, it's word for word.
Wow.
Now, I don't know if people know, but of course, I was heavily involved in the Palin campaign, and I met her a long time. I don't think we were as close of friends as you were, Dan. But I take that she was basically your somewhat average citizen. I don't mean that to sound mean. In other words, she wasn't a Yale law graduate. You know, she wasn't, you know, some superstar person. She had certain qualities. She has fantastic political sense of when to go against people who are advising her.
Populist.
She knew what the people thought, and she knew how to.
We are ill, but ultimately, what?
Has some skills that other people don't have. But I mean, to me, she was kind of just your average person, and you know, that's not to say good things or bad things. That was just my take on her.
And that's part of her appeal.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
just one of us.
Mm-hmm. And I look at this circumstance and I think, you know, and to your question, Bonnie, is the presidency just for average people? Probably not.
Mm-mm.
Certainly not for conservatives. Mitt Romney, to me, one of the greatest people who I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody as charitable as Mitt Romney in my life. I've never seen it other than Mother Teresa. And conservatives don't even think he's qualified for the presidency. Obviously, Sarah Palin is never going to be president and never will be, and I don't think ever was. Yeah,
shouldn't be.
Probably should be.
So what should she do?
Keep doing what she's doing. She's a fantastic spokesman for conservatism. She knows how to write in one sentence what everybody is wanting to say.
As a connoisseur of Fox News,
yes,
I watch Fox News quite a bit. I guess I don't actually watch it on television, but I always go to the website, and I like watching clips with O'Reilly and Megyn Kelly and these guys. There are some people on Fox that I just find absolutely brilliant. Charles Krauthammer.
Oh my gosh.
Newt Gingrich. There's 5 or 6 that I can name right now. Brett Baer. Brett Hume is incredibly brilliant. I've never seen a Sarah Palin interview and go, wow, that was really good.
Yeah, every time she gets done speaking, I always think, okay, she got through it.
Oh my goodness, I was going to say the same thing.
Every single time.
Yes, I was so nervous.
So why is she so appealing? If she's
beautiful, she is. Okay.
I never found her.
Well, I can't help that.
Yeah.
She's pretty.
She is. She's pretty, and so that's striking to people. She's got a fantastic story. Her life story is it's so foreign to people who've ever been, if you've lived in a city your whole life. The idea of Sarah Palin in her life is just like the idea of you were born on Mars or something, and that you've lived this life that they couldn't even imagine. So and plus her colloquialisms of bless your heart and all that kind of stuff, and she's just a folksy kind of person. I think she's just the alternative view that Fox News is kind of looking for, because all the other people on Fox News, they all came from big cities. They got big fancy degrees and they're fancy people.
But she's
brings
an average nothing person in the way of content.
I like her content. When she's really fired up and she fires people up, I think she really makes some sense.
On Fox News or when she's giving speeches.
I really like her Tea Party speeches.
Yeah, absolutely.
When she's talking to people who agree with her.
It's hard for me to take them seriously, though, when she's the raise taxes.
This is the darkness in your own heart. See, Dan?
It could be.
Yeah, it totally is. 100%.
644. Stay with me. Stay with me.
On Hot Talk, Glen Biegel.
Right, that's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at SicilysPizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm going to let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
I'm a man on a quest for adventure and excitement in Prince William Sound. My 4-hour Glacier Quest cruise takes me up close to otters, seals, and North America's largest concentration of tidewater glaciers. It's not just a cruise. It's fast. It's wild. It's...
Hey, Dad!
Huh?
Look, a seal!
It's affordable enough to take the whole family.
The Glacier Quest Cruise, an adventure from the 26 Glacier Cruise Guys. Just $99 for adults and $59 for kids. Book now at 26glaciers.com.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080.
Well, what's up? Wait. All right, 6:47. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron here on a Friday afternoon, the 12th day of September. We're glad you're here. It's a kind of a rainy day. Beautiful yesterday. Did you guys get out at all yesterday?
Yes. I went out car shopping.
You looking for a car? I asked you that like a week ago. You said, I don't need a car.
Well, I was more like car dreaming.
Oh, okay.
I hadn't realized how much cars are now.
This is what happens when you make a suggestion to somebody. They're not thinking about it. They've never thought about it. All of a sudden they think, yeah, hey.
I know. That's a good idea.
Yeah, exactly. So here a week later, it's now become her idea, and she never even remembers you said it.
Well, and it was just the tip of the iceberg. I haven't visited many places. I got to go see Payless.
There you go.
Payless Car Sales, 919 East 5th Avenue.
I get out every day.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you do?
I get a chance to walk around down at Ship Creek a bit.
So you do that like as a lunch
walk.
break, or?
Yeah.
Do you walk to a restaurant?
I called it an ergonomic walk.
Do you walk to go get lunch, or do you
just to take a little break?
How far do you walk?
Doing technical work, about a half mile, something like that.
So it takes you what, 20 minutes?
Yeah, 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
And do you do that in this winter when it's 10 degrees?
No.
Okay. So what do you do then? You just don't get out?
I suffer.
Do you ever feed the birds down there?
No, you're not supposed to feed the birds. It makes fat birds.
Oh, no, you're kidding.
That's what? Isn't that true?
Ugh, please.
Or is that just what you feed them?
I don't know. I used to do it when I was a kid down there at Ship Creek.
You
it was
did?
so fun. They're just taking away all the fun.
Aw.
Ridiculous.
Can't feed birds. What about all the starving people in Africa? Why don't you feed them?
Yeah, exactly. If they were here,
Right, I'll
and
send them
swooping in from
my
the
old
sky,
bread.
Feed them the birds.
Feed them the birds. Ship the birds to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Fatten them up.
Here's some fat
send them
birds
over.
for you.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Alaskan turkeys.
So Begich says Sullivan's not Alaskan enough.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, don't you just love that? This is the story, and Gruning actually was this is a guy whose dad was a senator. He was one of the founders of the state, and doesn't like the claim that people come in and say, you know what, other guy's not Alaskan enough for you.
Well, as a guy who was not born and raised like you two were, I would say my first 5 or 6 years, 7, 8 years here, I was accused of that. Oh, well, Dan, if you were a real Alaskan, you'd understand that.
That's silly.
It is silly.
It works though, and that's why it's done. I mean, basically, for people who do not want to talk about whatever their votes were or whatever their positions are, the people who support them, then they'll go to these
petty.
Well, they're not only are they petty, they're invalid. Because, as I put at the end of the article, and I really think this encapsulates what's wrong with this argument. How Alaskan can Mark Begich be if he votes with Obama 97% of the time?
I mean, no one's more anti-Alaskan.
That is not a complicated argument. And you can sit there, and by him constantly bringing this up, and this was Meade's take on this as well.
Yeah, I have mayonnaise that's been in the fridge longer than you've been here.
Which is funny, and that's good. But, and obviously all the attacks that Meade made on Dan Sullivan are now being played verbatim by people attacking Dan Sullivan.
But I believe that's why Meade got beat so badly.
I agree with you.
Because of those attacks.
Yeah.
That
he didn't have a good enough argument that I'm the right person to lead the state. My argument is he's not Alaskan enough. Well, that's just not that great of an argument.
Well, they're thinking if he's got mayonnaise that old in his fridge, maybe he doesn't clean house enough.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I have fished with people on the river who are from out of state, and they love Alaska more than I believe Mark Begich does. So to me,
they probably
it doesn't
experience.
matter.
If they're out fishing, they probably experience Alaska more than Mark Begich does.
Every year and love Alaska. They're devoted to Alaska. They wish they could move here. I think that they are more loyal to Alaska than Mark Begich is.
So not only is Begich voting with Obama 97% of the time, but he also puts Harry Reid in charge of the Senate. And I go on to explain why that's such a big deal, because obviously Harry Reid is anti-Alaskan.
Yeah.
And I said, when your party and leadership won't allow a single amendment on the floor, right? And this is something that Amanda Coyne has pointed out. And when it makes Amanda Coyne and it doesn't support her side, it doesn't support her cause, you know that it's getting to be a problem. And thus making our other Alaska senator irrelevant. You know, if they don't allow amendments on the floor, they essentially say to the Republicans, you don't count. It doesn't matter if you show up. You're not going to have any impact on legislation at all. These are Democrat bills. We will not allow amendments on the floor. Therefore, what's your relevance? In essence, electing Mark Begich again doesn't give us two powerful senators. It takes the other one fighting for Alaska away. It takes Lisa Murkowski away. And that's what electing Mark Begich does. And that's the real problem with him going out and saying, I'm the real Alaskan here.
Did you just say something positive about Lisa Murkowski?
Yeah, I believe she's fighting for Alaska. Yeah, and I think that's what most Alaskans probably do believe, particularly people who are out in the bush. They do believe that she's fighting for Alaska, and they have to know, look, she has no relevancy in Washington, D.C. as long as Mark Begich and his team with Harry Reid prevent amendments from the floor. She just does not have any impact on legislation.
Well, let's try to prioritize and list the number one enemies in the state of Alaska. I would say number one enemy would be Senate Democrats. Number two enemy would be EPA. Number three enemy would probably be...
I'd say Greenpeace.
Well, but
the environmental movement.
No, but Greenpeace is now the EPA.
That's true.
Yeah, so
Greenpeace
they're irrelevant because they're now in charge. The people who work in the EPA now are former big environment employees, so they now have the full force of government behind them.
SEIU could be close, and so could people like the Facebook guy, you know, the big CEOs that are pushing amnesty. Because both of those guys are pushing
I'm the number one enemies of Alaska.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I would say Senate Democrats first, and then the EPA, then probably Obama, and that would be my list. And really, Mark Begich brought the EPA here. He brought them here. He literally said, "Hey, come look into our state," and they've been declaring war on us since. He is Senate Democrats. He's on the team, and then Obama. He voted for Obama. So to say that Mark Begich is pro-Alaska, you just can't say that.
Well, he's trying to make that case. And the danger is he'll make the case in the absence of anybody saying anything else. Like all these House Bill 77 attacks on Sullivan, as long as there's no other message that anybody receives, and Joe Faith, whoever the fisherman is down out of Kodiak, gets on and says, well, I'm a Republican, but I'm going to vote for Mark Begich because House Bill 77 was so awful, and it would have stopped hunting and fishing. It had nothing to do with hunting and fishing rights, but if people don't know that, well, what are they to make of this? You know, because so they use these proxy arguments that if there's no other information provided, and since there's strong response, House Bill 77, therefore, in their minds, does stop hunting and fishing rights, well, you can't vote for somebody who's going to stop your hunting and fishing rights. That's the only hope Begich has.
What do you think, and this is maybe I'm out of line here, but...
You're always out of line. Let's.
What do you think when Mark's lying in his bed, lights are out, it's quiet, and he's thinking to himself about how he could potentially lose his seat, and he's strategizing how low he wants to go to discredit and to demonize Dan Sullivan? Do you think, what role does this conscience? Do you think he goes, I shouldn't tell people that Dan Sullivan's pro-murder, and it was soft on domestic, all the horrific ad that he played. Do you think he battles that internally, or do you think it's like, look, I got to keep my seat. I don't care what I got to do. I mean, I know there's no way you could accurately answer that question, but do you think there's at least a pushback on his conscience?
Well, I think that Democrats generally do, or genuinely do, believe that conservatives are so evil and they want such awful things, and they want to take so many quote rights from people, like the forcing you to buy your own condoms if you, those
Can
kind
you
of rights.
imagine?
Yeah, if you can imagine that.
Yeah.
That I really think that if those thoughts ever do infringe in the middle of the night, they're just pushed away right away.
It's
Okay,
justified.
look, we have got work to do, right? We have got a battle to face. These are our enemies.
But do you honestly think, Glenn, that Mark Begich really believes by making a woman pay for her own contraception, that's a legitimate war on women? Do you honestly think he believes that?
I think that the left takes everything to the maximum extreme, and rather than talk about what we're actually talking about, which is a very obvious no, having someone need to buy their own condoms and buy their own pill is not a war on women. Now, where they go with it, and every left-winger does this, if they were in charge and they were king, you wouldn't be able to buy these things at all. So they make up a scenario that doesn't exist. You wouldn't be able to buy condoms at all because
the government would pay for it.
No, that because conservatives in their minds will take away all contraception.
I see.
Right, they make up a
the
demon.
left thinks conservative.
Right, and so they take it to this massive, complete extreme, which really doesn't exist. There's nobody's going to outlaw contraception. It just there's no way that's ever going to happen in any part of the country.
6:58's the time. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT. 58's the time. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT.
Expertly tended all winter, then it'll be all ready for you to pick up next spring. However, space is limited and Bell's fills up early, so bring your baskets in right away. In the Specking Road gift shop, there's new Department 56 Halloween items in stock, plus all kinds of fall linens and decorations. And October 23, 24, and 25 are the dates for the big Zapthys Silver Restoration Clinic at Bell's and Specking Road. Call 345-4476 to make your appointment with the experts from Zapthys. Well worth your time and effort. Bell's Nursery and Gifts on Specking Road and Bell's Nursery on Cranberry Road.
Listen online at 1080KOAN.com. Hot Talk 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony, trying to get Turkey to back the plan to take the fight against ISIS to Syria. Secretary of State Kerry is there for talks. 10 Arab nations support the U.S. as a retired general is put in charge. Fox News Radio's Jared Halpern live at the White House.
Retired Marine General John Allen will lead the broad international effort to fight ISIS. He's charged with figuring out what role nearly 40 nations will play. Allen has been serving as an advisor to Secretary of State John Kerry. Previously, the general was a deputy commander in Iraq and at CENTCOM, overseeing military action across the Middle East and North Africa. U.S. military action will be led by General Lloyd Austin. As many as 31,500 fighters could make up the ranks of ISIS, a CIA assessment tripling an earlier estimate, Dave.
Jared, 2 Navy fighter jets have crashed in the Pacific Ocean. A pilot's missing. Fox News Radio's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the U.S. Navy says the 2 Hornets were operating over the western Pacific Ocean today when they collided and went down. One pilot was rescued and has been treated aboard the USS Carl Vinson. The other, the subject of an intense search involving helicopters and a guided cruise missile and also a destroyer. The F-18s were flying off the USS Vinson, which was on her way to Guam to take part in the military exercise Valiant Shield, which starts Monday. Dave?
Rachel, the U.S. has slapped more sanctions on Russia, targeting the defense sector for Moscow's meddling in Ukraine. The European Union has also put more financial penalties in place. So Russian President Putin is looking to strengthen economic trade ties in Asia. Oscar Pistorius remains free on bail in South Africa.
This guy is basically in my opinion.
He's reacting in Pretoria after Pistorius was found guilty of culpable homicide, not murder. The Olympic track star's uncle's relieved.
And we had never any doubt in Oscar's version.
Pistorius claims he thought the girlfriend he shot was an intruder. Pistorius could get up to 15 years at sentencing next month. Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with intimacy. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-739-8212. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-739-8212. That's 1-800-739-8212. Call 1-800-739-8212.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
Hi, my name is Mike Ferris, President of Alaska Enterprise Solutions. We are the face of Xerox in Alaska. Xerox is a trendsetter, and AES Xerox is following in those footsteps. We are the document management experts, specializing in short-term rentals of copiers and scanners. We have offices in Anchorage and Fairbanks, and we are your Xerox professional agency with an Alaska focus and worldwide support. You can reach us at aesalaska.com or 561-5100.
Glen Biegel, you have beautiful teeth.
Why, thank you, Dan Fagan. That's because my family and I have gone to Dr. Dan Kiley for years.
I get scared at the dentist.
Dr. Kiley knows people like you are afraid, so he creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
When Malarkey Mark Begich ran for U.S. Senator, he made a lot of claims about his record as Anchorage mayor. Begich knew the truth wouldn't come to light before the election. But now, history is caught up with Malarkey Mark. Under Begich, Anchorage taxes went up 27%. Under Begich, the city budget ballooned, a $142 million increase in spending. Under Begich, the city was saddled with unprecedented 5-year union contracts. Under Begich, a deficit of over $20 million was left for the next mayor to deal with. Begich left Anchorage in serious trouble. Alaska's Energy, America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give him a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
Six minutes past 7 o'clock on a Friday. How about that? Friday morning, September 12th, 2014. Our number 569-1080. But here's a more important number for you. It's 866-COUNTRY. It's the way you can reach a country representative. Country Financial here in Alaska, they're the premier financial planning company in the state. They have 13 locations, 5 in Anchorage, 5 in the Valley, Mike Daniels is the guy who heads it all up, and boy, he really knows how to recruit and train financial advisors. And his team has helped so many Alaskans get to where they need to be with their financial planning so that they'll have a worry-free retirement. It's a big deal. It's a big deal. Why would you look, we all work hard. We all are very busy, and it's impossible for us to get the training and the knowledge and the wisdom about financial planning that the folks at Country Financial have. Why not rely on their expertise? It's such a big deal. We work so hard. Why cheat yourself out of that type of wisdom? Go see Mike Daniels and his team at Country Financial. Here's the number. 866-COUNTRY, 866-COUNTRY. And country, of course, is spelled
COUNTRY.
It was a little subdued today, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It was a little less Vanna.
You have to vary. It has to change.
Change it. Mix
Change
it
it
up.
up.
Either that or it has to stay the same every time. And it says something
I
about
never
people.
stay the same.
Okay.
I'm always changing.
See, exactly. That says something about people.
Glen Biegel's right there. Bonnie Cameron's sitting over there. I'm Dan Fagan. I love this experience that I occasionally have the opportunity to have, which is to pop in on the Biegel clan. I was there last night, and you get in there, and there's kids everywhere, and they grow. You walk in, and there's 7 or 8 in the room, and then all of a sudden you turn your head, and there's another kid. That she wasn't here when I was started, and then there's another one. That kid wasn't there, and it's just such a lively, full of life atmosphere. Everybody
hectic. Would that be a better way to say it?
No, it's controlled chaos. It's
controlled chaos.
It's not, because the thing and my point in all this is, fathers are so important. Oh my goodness, this is why the whole redefine marriage movement and there's no difference between men and women movement. It's so destructive to our culture. You have to have an authoritative father in the household. And I'm not talking about a tyrant. I'm not talking about a dictator, but somebody who's in charge. And I understand this is politically correct, and I understand the women's movement rejects this notion. But it's not an equality thing. It's just the father and the mother play such different roles. And as the population of the Biegel household began to grow last night, kids coming from their rooms, and I don't know where all that came from.
The woodwork, I think, is the appropriate term.
There were
They're termites.
a couple of kids, who would, try to interrupt the conversation. They get a little bit out of line. Nothing big, just when 2 adults are talking, they jump on Glen's lap and start talking to him. And Glen had full control of the situation. His youngest son, Matthew, such a sweet kid, but he's got a lot of energy, and he's very lively, and he's got a great personality. I think he's going to be brilliant when he gets to be an adult. Not that he isn't brilliant now, but he starts acting up a little bit, not in a bad way, just disrupting. And Glen, in a very kind, direct, authoritative way, immediately had him stop. And I was so impressed with that, because at my age, I have a lot of married friends, and they have no control of their kids. No control. And it's so disheartening to see. Mm-hmm. But here's what I believe, as someone who's never had a child. I believe that there's a sanctuary you create for your kid when you put borders and walls around their lives. And you say, here's the rules, and you cross these lines, then you're going to have to pay a consequence. And if you don't back that up, then the kid doesn't have borders. The kid has no sanctuary. There's peace for the child when they know, if I cross that line, 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 I'm going to have to pay a real big consequence for that. That brings peace to the child, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the process of growing up is the process of finding out where your boundaries are.
Yes.
That is what growing up is.
Yes.
And what the consequences for your life's decisions are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and most parents, they make such stupid mistakes.
Yes. Because
they think their job is to be their kid's friend and
Yes.
make sure that they do not suffer these consequences.
Yes.
The consequences are life. That is what life is.
And if you think it's bad at 3, 4, 5 years old, just imagine what it'll be at 13, 14,
15.
Yeah.
And so if you don't teach your child that there are borders and boundaries in which they should employ in their own lives, when they get to be adults, their life's going to be a mess.
Well, I would imagine that the problem is really in the teenage years. And everybody keeps telling me, oh, you just wait till your daughter, when she becomes a teenager, she is going to just absolutely destroy everything on the earth, you know, and she's going to... I have not had that experience. And I realize that I live far differently than so many people. But that is a choice. That is such a big choice. And I know people don't realize they even have the choice. But sending your kids to movies, having them hang out, you know, with friends at malls that you don't know, just it's little decisions. It's little things. I truly believe one thing that I don't think certainly our culture believes, that children are different than adults and that they need time to grow up. And that
you believe that.
I believe that. Yeah. I don't think most people in our culture, children are just little adults, just like women are little men. They're just as crass and crude and rude and awful and terrible and sexualized as men are.
Yeah.
And that this is our cultural belief, which I don't believe. And I believe that parents' jobs are to protect their children from things until they're ready for them, and to have them experience life and consequences as much as they possibly can under your guidance, so that they know what to handle. You know, if they haven't had their first boyfriend or girlfriend, by the way, before they've left your house, they're not going to know how to deal with those feelings. They're not going to understand that this person can't provide for them, that they're not ready to marry them, that a sexual relationship with them changes the very nature of how you guys are going to relate to each other. There's so much that a child won't know that a parent does know, and that it's your job to bring them into that.
Now think about the opposite of what your viewpoint that you just represented. The left says, hey, kids are going to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
Give them condoms.
Give them a condom.
Teach them how to have sex.
No consequence.
Show them how to have sex. In school.
Mm-hmm.
In movies. And everything you just described, the left completely, as I said before, they're always on the wrong side of everything. No, there's no difference between children and adults.
Mm-hmm.
Give them as many condoms as they need.
That's right. As long as there's no consequences, there's no problem. Oh, there are big consequences to early sexual activity.
714, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT.
Activity.
714, Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie. KOAN, KVNT.
Don't just sit there. 569-1080. Joe Valley, KOAN.
You gotta play to win. Don't miss your chance. Alaska Lottery presents Monthly Lotto with a new drawing every month. Tickets are just $2 each or 10 for $10. The winner receives half of everything collected. Drawings will be held on the 30th of every month. Call the Alaska Lottery hotline at 56-LOTTO. That's 565-6886 for information and prize updates. Charitable gaming in Alaska raises millions of dollars every year for nonprofit organizations statewide. Get your tickets today at the new Tudor Bingo Center at 1436 East Tudor Road, Tudor Charity Tabs at 343 West Benson, or the Alaska Lottery kiosk on the first floor of the 5th Avenue Mall. You don't have to be present to win, but you gotta play to win. Brought to you by Greater Anchorage Inc., Ferrande, and Alaska Lottery.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Do your medications create more side effects than solutions? Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
Is it already time for your kindergartner to start learning reading, writing, and arithmetic? Would you like them to also learn science, history, and geography? Let's mix in the fun of music, art, and learning through play. Anchor Lutheran School offers this and much more in a class of no more than 22 students. Kindergarten through junior high enrolling now. Anchor Lutheran School on Arctic Boulevard, just north of Diamond. Visit alsalaska.org or call 522-3636 to learn more.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. You're on with Fagan and Biegel. 1080KOAN.com. Tonight.
All right, 7:17 in the morning. Chugach Chiropractic. Wasn't Dr. Swigert good yesterday on the show?
He's so knowledgeable, and you just get the sense that when people come in, they tell him their problems, and he helps them.
And he gets great satisfaction from that. The folks over at Chugach Chiropractic, Dr. Swigert, Dr. Madden, they really are the best when it comes to getting you aligned. You know, whether it's your skeletal health, whether it's dealing with pain, whether it's losing weight, even if you just need a massage to relax. The folks at Chugach Chiropractic, they're the best. Dr. Marvin Swigert. Give them a call, 694-9224, 694-9224, Chugach Chiropractic. 7:18 is the time. Glenn and I were talking about being a dad and building parameters around kids. And Glenn, you spoke about how the left today says the kids and adults are the same, and that you can sexualize children. It's okay. They do it in Hollywood all the time.
They do it in your kindergarten class. That's what they want. Sex ed in kindergarten.
Yes, that's right. Now, Bonnie, you take issue with something Glenn said. What was it?
Well, there at the very end, he said that he thinks, and tell me if I'm getting this right, that you should have your kids have boyfriends and girlfriends before they leave the house while they're still in the house.
That's right. I do.
So that you can guide them. Is that what it is?
Yes. This is particularly true for girls.
Well, let me interrupt.
Yeah.
I don't think he's saying that you must date somebody.
Yeah.
But what he's saying is if they find someone of the opposite sex that they're attracted to, you should allow it to flourish, but under control, right?
Yeah.
So it's not that he's saying
that it's going to end, right?
Yeah.
Almost certainly it's going to end.
Yes.
And I've always found that it's very helpful to help them through that, to help them understand that the feelings you're feeling are enormously powerful, and they will overwhelm the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is this 16-year-old boy cannot provide for you. He cannot take care of you. He does not have a skill set. He does not have a home. He cannot give you food. He cannot do anything for you. He's not ready.
So
and that as you grow up, well, I let them date under very extraordinary circumstances. There have to be at least 2 girls and 4 boys. There has to be at least 6 people on any date.
See, I agree with that. I'm
Sure.
just thinking back
Oh, they're
to...
never alone on their own by themselves under any circumstances at any time or anywhere that you don't know where they are, who they're with, or any of that kind of stuff.
So what's the point of dating? Just to go out and have fun?
Because dating is this bond that forms between the girl and the boy, and it is a faint echo of what marriage is.
I don't think so.
So, what's your approach?
Well, I don't know. I know that my husband wouldn't agree with me, and we're going to go along with what he says. So, I know that our children will date. I also like the idea of a group date.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking from experience, I dated a lot, and it did me no good. I mean, it just...
Wait a minute. Weren't you married at 14?
No.
Did your parents help you, by the way? Did they guide you, or were they helicopter parents that were just
let me go out alone.
Oh.
And it was not fruitful. I mean,
How old were you when you started dating?
15. Yeah. So
and
I
you were
dated,
allowed to date without anybody else in the room but you and the boy?
Yes, because it was a boy from church.
Yeah, but Glenn's not
It was
calling for
okay
that.
because it was a boy from church.
Yeah, but that's not what Glenn's calling.
Because boys
are
from
boys.
church
Yeah,
are
they're not
fine.
really boys.
but
They're
Glenn's-
still boys, right?
Oh yeah.
But that's not what Glenn's calling.
Well, that's what I was questioning.
Yeah.
Because there is a distinction, and you have to make that with people.
Yeah, people get confused there, by the way. Boys are boys.
Yes.
And boys will be boys, and boys are boys, and it doesn't matter what you know.
Yeah, there was no guidance, I would say, in.
Yeah. Well,
we didn't
my
really talk
goal
about
is
it.
not to have them have experiences that I'm not guiding.
Right.
And those are, I agree, those are totally unfruitful. They're oftentimes completely dangerous
Well, and-
because parents believe that there is something that's protecting their child, which doesn't exist. There's no protection for your child.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
and people call me, oh, well, you're sheltering your kids because you homeschool and they're with you all day. And I'm like, well, I'm a parent. I'm supposed to shelter. Isn't that okay?
So your rule, as opposed to your husband's, is you don't want them dating at all?
No. I think that, like Glenn said, in a group setting, that's fine. But he didn't clarify that at first.
Okay.
So that's why I was questioning.
But you said your husband disagreed with you. What is
He says it's not realistic to, not let him date. But we haven't really talked about it. My son's just almost 14, so we haven't.
How old's
gotten
your
there yet.
daughter?
9. She just turned 9.
What was your age floor that you would allow a child to date?
Well, they seem to start expressing interests in 8th grade, 9th grade type of thing. We didn't allow any dates at all, even group dates, till 16. The school's very strict that they go to, where there's no makeup, and I think there actually is makeup now, but it's kind of minimalized, and so and they're in uniforms and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot less pressure for the boys to sort of respond to the sexualized nature that girls have in public school. So I think it's a bit of a different scene. I mean, really, they have lots of models, from the teacher to me to all of our friends. Is marriage is the goal here. That's what life is about, and that it's important that you understand what your role in the marriage would be. So I don't know. I guess the approach is maybe a little different.
Honestly, if I had it my way, I would do the courtship thing with my kids.
Now, what's a courtship?
It's where you're never alone with the opposite sex.
I agree with
you
that.
always have a chaperone.
I agree with
You
that.
don't even date until you're, like, the reason you date is to get married. So you don't even date until you're responsible enough and old enough to be married. And a lot of them choose not to have any kissing or even hand holding until they're engaged, at least, or married.
I agree with all that. You agree with that?
No.
What do you? What's your?
Oh, the hand holding.
The hand holding. Yeah, that's silly.
I don't know. I think that you've got to confront these emotions.
Well,
They come up at different ages for different people. Every single child is different. Every circumstance is different. And
I read a book.
rigid, inflexible approach to what your child needs.
It's
just
also
doesn't
there's
work.
also so much more to it. That's just the base.
Yeah.
But also the dad and the mom are very involved in, if they don't think that this person is good for you, then you don't
I agree with all
pursue
that.
it.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. So, if the parent has to approve the potential date person, courtship person, once that child turns 18, what do you do then?
In most of those families that do choose courtship and it's a mutual agreement between the children and the parents,
What child would agree to that?
there's lots of them who do, because they have been guided by
Until
their
they
parents
meet-
in a very healthy way.
Until they meet some guy they like and they turn 18, how are you going to...
Usually the children are so respectful of their parents' decisions that they respect them for that.
Brian laughed.
I don't think...
That was a really loud
I
laugh.
don't think that's possible. I mean, maybe some
Sorry.
planet, maybe like on the Stepford Wives.
No, I know people.
And they're the Stepford teenagers, but I don't think you take a girl who's 18 years old and some guy she falls in love with or has a crush on. There is no respect for parents that's going to outweigh, Johnny football over here with his, muscle car, and he's a star quarterback. Oh, I love my parents more. I'm not going to. Come on now. I don't see that. Am I wrong?
You're talking a worldly kind of. Most of these families are so sheltered. They're very much sheltered, and
But there's no sheltering a child from their hormones. Am I right? I'm not saying
it does work for some people.
Yeah.
I have a 16-year-old.
I almost said something really terrible.
I have a 16-year-old
I almost
daughter.
said really, really ugly kids, but I didn't.
No.
But my 16-year-old daughter, she was allowed to start dating when she turned 16.
Yeah.
And the chaperone thing is in effect. You know, and it's a kid from her church, which her mom knows pretty well.
Yeah.
But still, I agreed with her being able to date at that age too, because, and I tell her right up front how boys are.
Yes.
You know, and it's like, you know, you're not going to find the love of your life, your first boyfriend.
Right.
And you know, you may think he's the world, but trust me, he's not.
But that doesn't sink in.
Well, with her, it's a little different. It is.
Does it?
I could always talk to her like that.
Okay.
And so she's always like, "It's great to hear things from you, Dad."
Yeah,
you know?
that's nice. That's nice. Well, speaking of parents who let children date at an early age, Sarah Palin has now made the Washington Post.
Oh, on the what are we calling it? Rumblegate?
Here's the headline. Here's the headline. Stretch Hummers, a bloody brawl, and Sarah Palin.
Oh.
That's the Washington Post.
Her
Washington
approval
Post.
percentage just went up 5 points. Trust me.
The story has it all. Stretch Hummers booze, a right hook, and a former vice president candidate screaming, "Do you know who I am?"
Should be president of the Confederate.
Just another Saturday night.
Brian.
Just another Saturday night in Anchorage with the Palins. Is Saturday Night Live? Are they on hiatus right now? Are they doing live shows?
I think they are hiatus.
Okay, yes, because is it summer? What is this?
He's probably about to start the new season.
You know, the first debut show,
Tina Fey
fighting on the front yard.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome. Win platform high tops with a flag on them.
To be honest with you folks, and Glenn so accurately points it out, I cannot deny it. I'm 100% guilty. I have a strong anti-bias towards Sarah Palin. It has at times bordered on hate and unforgiveness. I don't think it does anymore. But I will tell you with my biased viewpoint that I believe this is not only a deal killer for her politically, but I think it is a deal killer for her even as a pundit. I just think this is, with all the things that have, look, there's always a soap opera surrounding this woman. It's like the character in Peanuts who has the cloud, Linus.
Yeah.
Sarah Palin.
I was thinking Pigpen.
Pigpen, you're right.
Oh,
Sarah Palin.
Blanket.
Sarah Palin walks in soap opera land. There's too many to mention. And I think this, because this doesn't happen to other families.
Okay.
I don't know of any
Fox
family.
News is going to drop her. I want to hear you say, when we come back, Fox News is going to drop Sarah Palin. I want to hear you say it. No, don't answer now. I want to hear it when we come back. I'm dying to hear this.
7:29.
Hear this.
7:29.
By Mercedes-Benz of Anchorage. The best or nothing.
From the Fox Business Network, stocks remain in the red as investors look over one more round of economic reports before heading out for the weekend. Auto purchases drove retail sales up 0.6% in August, matching expectations. Take out that auto component and sales were up just 0.3%, but that was also in line with the estimate. Shares of Conversant are soaring after credit card processor Alliance Data Systems agreed to buy the company, price tag $2.3 billion in cash and stock. Shares of Ulta Salon Cosmetics and Fragrance are up sharply. Second quarter earnings from the beauty products retailer topped expectations, and new sanctions on Russia from the Obama administration target the country's largest bank. The penalties are aimed at punishing Moscow for its support of separatists in Ukraine. The U.S. is also expanding sanctions on Russia's energy and defense sectors. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Lauren Simonetti.
At Mathnasium Learning Centers, we make math make sense. Your child will leap ahead, whether they start out way behind or already ahead. It's how we've grown to more than 500 franchise locations. More at mathnasium.com or call for a free parent pack, 855-901-MATH. That's 855-901-6284. Learn what Mathnasium can do for your child. 855-901-6284. Mathnasium. We make math make sense.
With KOAN News, I'm Chuck White. A 42-year-old teacher in Alaska accused of sexually abusing one of his 7 adopted children in Missouri has agreed to return to that state to face the charges. Owen Miller was arrested last month after one of the children told an officer about alleged behavior that reportedly included sex acts and alcohol. An investigation is underway into who hacked into electronic signs on some Anchorage and Matsu Valley roads. The signs were temporarily changed to read "money over the B word." Police say the joke is not funny because it distracts drivers who can't believe what they saw could cause accidents. Drivers in this region say they remember previous roadside messages that were also altered to read either "impeach Obama," "honk if you like boobs." Well, police say those boobs or hackers are putting our local motorists at risk. That's your Hot Talk News update. Local weather is next.
This afternoon, mostly cloudy skies with a bit of rain, high 62. Cloudy with rain for tonight, low 53. A shower in spots Saturday, otherwise sunshine and clouds, high 60. Tomorrow night, low 48, and for Sunday, cloudy with showers, high 61. Hot Talk, breaking news, and the latest weather, KOAN 95.1 FM and 1080 AM.
When you've got the best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7, it's a pizza party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza, 333-8000.
Did you know that one of the state's premier medical facilities is located right in the heart of South Anchorage? Thanks to the Alaska Neurology Center, there's no need to leave Alaska anymore when it comes to treating the nervous system. You'll receive the best care at the Alaska Neurology Center for epilepsy, cerebral palsy, brain injuries, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, multiple sclerosis, speech disorders, and they offer pain management as well. And if you're having trouble sleeping at night, the Alaska Neurology Center has the best sleep disorder experts in the state. They also have the most sophisticated MRI imaging technology in Alaska. If you need relief from stress or from migraines, relax in their luxurious spa. At the Alaska Neurology Center, their massage therapists are amazing, and they offer hydrotherapy, infrared sauna, hot and cold therapy, and shiatsu massage. And their medical spa also offers facials and waxing. The Alaska Neurology Center, located on Diamond and Old Seward.
What if buying your next car could actually be enjoyable? At Payless Car Sales, we believe it should be. If you're in the market for your next car, come by and meet our knowledgeable staff and explore our selection of quality vehicles. We offer military discounts, and we give all of our customers Carfax history reports. We can also provide warranties and handle all of your lending needs. Just like driving your car should be enjoyable, so should buying it. Visit us downtown at 919 East 5th Avenue or on our website at paylesssales.com. Payless Car Sales, where Alaskans drive.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk KOAN and online at 1080KOAN.com.
$7:35. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie on this, the 12th day of September, Friday. Glad you're here. Glad it's Friday. So we're talking about this we knew when Amanda Coyne originally broke the story that this would go viral, right? The Sarah Palin brawl,
Rumblegate.
We have learned so much more now, and when we first reported what Amanda Coyne reported, all we knew was that there was apparently some fight somewhere that the Palin family was involved in. We now know the house. We now know where. According to witnesses, Bristol was actually punching somebody multiple times. Todd was choking one of Willow's former boyfriends. Track was standing in front of the whole deal with his shirt off, flipping everybody the bird. Sarah Palin was apparently climbing over people to get involved in the brawl, yelling profanities, screaming out, "Don't you know who I am?" The Palin clan arrived in a stretch Hummer, which says a lot, in my opinion, by the way, about them. Does it not? Look, if I ever became nationally known and became some big celebrity that everybody knew, the last thing I'd ever do is go anywhere in a stretch limo Hummer, right? Because it's so pretentious. It's so, hey, look, you know who I am.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right.
And
that says, do you know who I am, more than her yelling,
Right.
screaming at the top of her lungs.
And Brian thought that the "do you know who I am" comment was a little bit out. He didn't believe it because it just seemed so far out. But just the fact that she showed up to a party in a stretch limo, reeks of "do you know who I am."
Maybe they didn't want to drink and drive. They were being responsible.
Then get a cab.
Yeah. or a driver, maybe. Yeah.
Or just maybe have Willow not drink. Isn't she?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is she still underage?
Yeah, she probably wasn't
Well,
drinking.
it sounds like the stretch Hummer, there was a driver,
Yeah,
right?
Right.
It was probably a rented out.
No, but his point is that they arrived in this fancy limousine Hummer because they didn't want to drive and drink.
Well, and it was Todd's birthday, and maybe they were celebrating.
Yeah, but if I'm nationally known, I'm not going to go anywhere in a limo. It's so pretentious. It's so, hey, do you know who I am? You people are regular people. I'm a Palin.
Check me out. Well, the other thing, though, you probably have to realize is she probably goes everywhere in a limo whenever she goes down to New York City, right? Washington, D.C. and
You
all.
think she takes a limo to the hairdresser in Wasilla?
Well, no, I don't. But
Well, she
I
just
bet,
got
I
a
bet
ticket.
whenever. Yeah, she was driving
That's
her own
right.
car.
Yeah. So you asked me during the break, because I said she's done. Not only done politically, but I think this is such a deal breaker for so many people. It's okay to be normal. It's okay to say, hey, I'm not an elitist. But most Midwestern families that adore, most Northern California families that adore Sarah Palin, they don't know any families that get in brawls like this coming out of a limousine at a regular party. So this takes her from normal to Jerry Springer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
If they hear
It's
the story,
embarrassing.
It's not that she's a hockey mom anymore. She's now one of the women on Jerry Springer who jumps out of her chair and attacks another woman, because she says, she loses her regular person normal mantle, because it is not normal to have your entire family swinging at people, crawling over people to punch them when you arrive at a party in a stretch limo. Really, the stretch limo and the do you know who I am comment completely invalidates I'm a regular hockey mom. So that's why this is a deal breaker.
maybe that was the end of the sentence. Do you know who I am? I'm the average regular hockey mom
who drives around in a limo.
So let me at ya.
So you asked me, Glenn.
Yes.
Will this mean that her last bastion of credibility, Fox News, will they now begin to get rid of her?
Yeah.
And I would say to you that if Sarah Palin were arrested for doing the most disgusting thing, if she were caught lying on tape, you think about 5 of the most despicable things that any human being could do. If she were caught red-handed doing all 5 of them, and she were to appear on Fox News as a regular pundit, and the ratings were good, they would keep her. They have one criteria. They get overnight ratings at cable. We had Palin on Hannity last night. She was on from 8:05 to 8:15. What did we do ratings-wise during those 10 minutes? And until those numbers begin to drop, she'll be on Fox News for all eternity.
Will Fox News play this story?
That's a great question, and I doubt it. Although,
I doubt it too.
I just can't imagine how devastating that would be to their credibility. Because that's the one thing I hate about CNN. If all you watch was CNN, you wouldn't even know about Fast and Furious, IRS scandal, all the scandal. You wouldn't know about any of them.
Right.
But if conservatives mess up, Fox better get in there and report it. That's a great question.
Well, I don't think they will play it.
I do.
Because it is an attack on one of their own. That's just my take on it. And
I think they
maybe
will.
over time, maybe later.
I have a theory.
Yes, sir.
I think this is a big controversy to get more people to go to Sarah Palin TV.
Could be.
And then she could put out the story there.
Could be.
There we go.
Could be.
And
Publicity.
if she came out and her side of the story was, and I whipped that guy's butt, I bet people would totally sign on for that. If that's
no,
because this was a person who was attacking my family. This is a person who and I kicked his butt. I don't know. I just have a feeling
that's not normal, Glenn. Normal people don't strangle their daughter's ex-boyfriend. Normal people don't.
With mom and dad
They
there,
can't
that's the
even
weird
be-
thing I have.
They can't even be
I can't
accused
even
of character assassination because they did this to themselves.
Yes, yes. Everything, every cloud of scandal that Palin has been involved in, she's always played the victim. I did nothing wrong. Everybody's out to get me. This is the perfect exception to that rule.
That's right. They've
Now,
done
I'm
it to
looking-
themselves.
Now, she said, by the way, she wasn't there. She was traveling.
Well, she didn't say I wasn't there, I don't think.
Okay.
She's just said I was traveling that day.
Somebody called her on it,
On
though, and she
Hannity.
removed her comment.
Now, just for the record, MSNBC obviously has a huge story on it. I do not see it anywhere on CNN, nor do I see it on Fox News. So,
All right, so you don't think that she'll lose her spot on Fox for this?
Well, no. If it hurts her credibility to the point that people, she comes on and they, why am I listening to this crazy hillbilly Jerry Springer woman? And they turn her TV off, and then they'll pull her in a heartbeat. If she drops 14-15%, they'll pull her in a heartbeat.
Okay.
So I don't know it's really how the public responds. So I do think they'll pull her because I think this is the last straw with the public.
And it doesn't sound like to me any of this was self-defense. So
No. Not when you're
you
crawling
can't
over
claim
people.
self-defense.
Yeah.
Bristol cannot claim self-defense. Sorry.
Now, this is interesting because Glenn has a very, as he so often does, has this brilliant theory about something Sarah Palin said on Hannity last night. And Bonnie, you were going to read it to me. Do you have it?
Yeah, she said while watching the address, Obama's address, she couldn't help but regret the fact that Senator John McCain did not become president. Quote, "The thought going through my mind was, I owe America a global apology because through all of this, John McCain should be our president. He had the advice, still giving it today to Barack Obama, but he will not listen to it." And then she goes in to talk about Iraq, peace in Iraq.
So the thing that Glenn observed, and we're going to wait till because we got a break now, is why would she do that? Why would she apologize? Because, look, I don't think I've ever heard Sarah Palin apologize for anything. Is anybody?
Especially not America.
Not anything
globally.
she's personally done.
Right. So why would she apologize the day after this scandal breaks, Brawlgate? And Glenn has a brilliant observation.
Rumblegate.
And you'll hear it right after this. 744, Fagan, Biegel, Monty. KOAN, KVNT. KOAN, KVNT.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel. Give him a call, 569-1080, KOAN.
This is Olympic cross-country skier Holly Brooks. Do you know a girl who loves camping, sports, and science, community service, and making new friends? If so, she's ready to be a Girl Scout. Girl Scouts creates leadership opportunities for girls. They develop life skills, habits of teamwork, and a strong sense of self. Girl Scouts gives every girl a chance to discover who she is and what she can be. How do I know? Because I was a Girl Scout. Visit www.girlscoutsalaska.org or call 248-2250.
If you're ready for the movies, there's just one place to go.
Check out moviesak.com.
Find movie showtimes for Anchorage and the Valley at moviesak.com. Check out trailers and reviews updated daily. Moviesak.com, your local location on the web to find out everything you need to know before you go out. Register for free movie tickets that are given away every week and the grand prize of movie tickets for life.
I'm Leslie Moore. I teach 7th grade here in Anchorage. I'm tired of the DC outsiders coming to Alaska to falsely attack Dan Sullivan. Don't believe their dishonest ads. The truth is, Dan Sullivan has stood up for Alaskans and delivered results. I've seen it firsthand. After the financial crisis, my pension took a big hit. It was a difficult time for all Alaska teachers, but Attorney General Dan Sullivan fought back, forcing a Wall Street firm to pay for their malpractice, putting almost $500 million back into the retirement fund for Alaskans.
Dan Sullivan stood up to Wall Street and Washington as our Attorney General and DNR Commissioner, fighting for Alaska.
Dan Sullivan stood up for me and every Alaskan teacher. He's a man of the highest integrity, and he will fight for Alaskans, not for the big money special interests. This is a critical time for our nation and state. We need more people like Dan Sullivan fighting for us in the U.S. Senate.
I'm Dan Sullivan, and I approve this message.
Paid for by NRSC and authorized by Sullivan for U.S. Senate.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Give them a call, 569-1080. KOAN.
$7:47 Friday, September 12th. Welcome to Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie on KOAN, KVNT. Glad you're here. Our friends at Earhart Roofing, Frank and Becky Earhart, their son James, they're the perfect success story of a family business. They started 42 years ago, and they decided to get into the roofing business, and they perfected their craft. Now, 42 years later, they have 17 trucks, 60 employees. They're the best roofing company in the state. They can install a roof for you within 2 days, and they guarantee it for a half a century. Does it get any more American than that? And you know, if you knew Frank and Becky and James, they're so patriotic. They love this country so much. It's the perfect American dream story. Earhart Roofing, give them a call, 345-5555, 345-5555. Our time's 7:48. Sarah Palin went on Hannity last night, said that she apologizes that McCain didn't win the presidency. That's basically paraphrasing what she said, Bonnie.
She apologized to America for McCain not winning. Yes.
She said
she owes America a global apology.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Not only is her apology big, it's bigger than this country.
So she's playing up her apology.
Her apology is so big.
It's global.
It is global.
You know, Glenn, you are so brilliant. And you said that she came out with this after this story broke of her family being the Beverly Hillbillies and getting in fight. You said that she did that for what reason?
Well, to me, she's very calculating. She needs to protect this image that she has. I'm out looking at Google right now, and I go through page after page after page of this quote. I owe America a global apology because John McCain is not president. 29 minutes ago, 12 hours ago, 35 minutes ago, newshounds.com or newshounds.us, page after page after page, conservative blog central, Breitbart, YouTube, newsaddicted.com, the immoral minority, blogspot.com. It's all over. The I owe America a global apology. Sarah Palin is a brilliant strategist. I knew this when she was in the campaign. She knew when to take advice. She knew when to get away from advice. She knew exactly how Americans' minds worked. And when you do a big screw-up, you got to go big. You got to go big or you got to go home. This spot on Fox News is literally worth millions of dollars, not just because of Fox News, but because she is the face of a conservative woman who is fighting for the principles of this country. And so, to me, it is very instructive. I owe America a global apology cannot possibly be just coincidental. She made a big screw-up.
With the family brawl.
The family brawl. Now she's got to refocus people. Folks, I owe America a global apology. Does she owe America a global apology? Of course she doesn't. That's ridiculous.
She's acting so humble.
So she's elevating herself.
She's elevating herself
under the guise of being humble.
Right.
Because we know that she has never publicly apologized or admitted she's wrong
for anything that she's honestly, truly done by herself, for herself, that she's truly responsible for. No, I don't think I have.
She's so calculated, in your opinion. And the global word really is telling, isn't it?
It is.
I'm going to issue a global
apology.
Let me just say globally here that I love ribeyes. I want to say on a global basis that I'm very excited about the football that I'll be watching this weekend.
It takes your comment from, here's something that I've got to say, and this was the one time when she was picked by John McCain as the vice presidential nominee, that this is her attachment to true greatness, where there was this enormous battle that all Americans can identify with, they can understand, they see this president as dramatic failure, and here she is, a perfect example, the same thing as death panels. She's speaking exactly to people's heart. I apologize for the disaster this president is, and we would have been much better off. How many people agree with that? Virtually everyone who's not in the tank for this disaster of a president. She's brilliant. This is fantastically brilliant commentary and speech. This is how she works. This is why she's so valuable
ask you this.
to conservative.
Let's look at the logistics of this brilliant move, which I agree with every point you made. Does she sit around with people in a room and say, how do we counter the fact that we look like white trash by getting in a big drunken brawl? Or is this all born in her head internally and she alone thought of it? Or do her advisors kick in? And
totally natural. She does have advisors, by the way, people all the time who are very brilliant, lawyers and media people who know how all this stuff works. So I'm not saying that she doesn't have access to the most brilliant minds in America. She does. She doesn't need them very often, and my guess is this time. And I actually thought I had heard "I owe America a global apology," something very similar to those words in the past, and I was out looking for them, but there's so many references, hundreds, thousands of references to the current one. I haven't gotten to the one that I heard previously. I do think she has said this before, and she knows how powerful of a statement this is. Because John McCain can't make the statement, but Sarah Palin can.
She's making it about her again.
Yeah.
But is it possible that she truly believes that she was the reason Obama got elected, and that she's sorry for that?
No.
I don't know.
No.
Could be.
No. I do think she's narcissistic. I've always thought that.
Well, then she probably does believe that she's the reason.
I think it all comes back to her.
Narcissism, right? Narcissism is you're the center, you're the cause, you're the fault, you're the end all be all. So if she is narcissistic, she would believe she caused John McCain to fail.
But if what I just asked was true, that she truly felt like she caused McCain to lose, this is how the apology would have sounded. When John McCain picked me as vice presidential nominee, it was a mistake. I was not experienced enough at that time to play on a national level. I made so many mistakes during the campaign, and I believe I probably contributed to him losing the election. And I am genuinely sorry for that.
No, that sounds humble.
That's an apology.
Yeah, that would be humble. Yeah.
But that's not what we heard.
No.
No, but that would be totally self-destructive. She's not self-destructive. Basically,
I don't know that it would be self-destructive.
Oh no, it would be.
I would my
for her to admit that she did not have the qualifications to be president would be going against. That's part of what you said.
No.
The very first thing you said was, I did not have the qualifications to be president.
Let me repeat it. When John McCain picked me as vice presidential nominee, at that time, I was not qualified to play on that stage. At that time. Now she's been a major player on the national stage, and she would not have made the same mistakes she did with Gibson and Couric and the other interviews that she wouldn't make those mistakes today.
I think she would. I don't think she's any different than. I don't know.
Oh no, she would have been she'd be much more savvy now.
Okay, she'd be more savvy. So she wouldn't put herself in the position to be asked questions to which
she wouldn't do interviews with Couric.
Okay.
And those guys.
All right.
Yeah, and even if she did, she would be much more prepped. Look, I've been told by people inside her camp afterward that she refused to prep for that Katie Couric interview.
Oh, she just wanted to be off the cuff and real.
She just wanted to be the regular American.
She thought they were just going to be two women having a nice conversation.
And they were because they interviewed her for like an hour, and
I think it was 2 days. Over 2 days,
yeah,
they took
like 15 minutes.
But back to my point, if she would have given the apology that I described, my view of her would have gone through the roof. In fact, Glenn, I think that's the only thing that's going to save her at this point, is if she says, you know, I've made a lot of mistakes. I've gotten involved in controversies that I shouldn't have been. I've been petty. I have not conducted myself in a way that I wish that I had. So many people have put their confidence in me, and I believe because some of the actions that I've participated in, I've let you down. And I've learned my lesson. I'm still a hockey mom who loves this country with all her heart, and I hope people forgive me for the way that I've conducted myself. Something sincere like that, her approval ratings among conservatives, she's never going to win the left, would shoot up 20%. People can see true humility a mile away. This apology today, everybody knows this is not an apology, right? True humility is so obvious and transparent. And when you make a lot of mistakes and you are looking directly at a man who personally has made a lot of mistakes in his life, not only personally but publicly, and it's the only way to recover. You have to exercise true humility and come clean on the faults and mistakes that you've exhibited. And that's really her, because she has made a mess of things pretty badly for her personally. It's the only way. And I'll tell you what would give her an 80% approval rating in Alaska is if she would come out tomorrow and say, you know what? ACES was really a mistake. I thought I was doing what was right. I really thought I was doing what was the best interest of Alaska. But it's pretty obvious that the legislation was not what I did not accomplish what I hoped it would. Can you imagine? Now, not the left, but the non-leftist in this state, how much they would respect her.
Even if she said she wanted to give the current tax structure time and that there are some good signs in it and that we're getting some good numbers.
Any kind of flexibility.
Any kind of indication that I could have been wrong.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the reason she can't and won't is because of fear and pride.
You don't think she will? I love your advice.
Okay.
I love your advice, and I wish you would take it.
Okay.
Because that would be so powerful.
The reason she can't, I'm not going to say won't. She may.
Okay.
She may. Frankly, I actually think she will.
Yeah.
I actually think
that would be super powerful.
Yeah.
And if she thought it inside her own and understood it inside her own heart, it would be powerful too.
Because she's a good person in her core.
Yeah.
758.
Hey, look, more fresh halibut arriving in the seafood departments at
a death
or whatever, no charge. So take advantage of Noosa and City Market's low price on whole, fresh halibut. And fill your freezer for the winter, just $11.99 a pound. Also in the seafood departments at Noosa and City Market, another boatload of fresh silver salmon in the stores. Special, just $4.99 a pound for the whole fish. Good price. In the butcher shop at Noosa and City Market, boneless, skinless chicken breasts are special, just $3.99 a pound. Great economical meals you can cook on the barbecue. Boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $3.99 a pound at Noosa and City Market. Nothing like ripe, crisp apples for the fall season, and right now in the produce departments at Noosa and City Market, it's fresh, honey crisp apples, so juicy you'll need a big napkin. Just $2.49 a pound, great for snacks, treats, or desserts. It's all at Noosa Midtown and City Market 13th and I.
Hot talk all day. Hot talk every day. 95.1 FM, 1080 AM. KOAN, Anchorage.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lisa Brady. A flurry of shuttle diplomacy as the U.S. and its allies work on the international coalition that will take on ISIS. Secretary of State Kerry in Turkey right now and the French president in Iraq. Fox News Radio's Simon Owen is more live.
Elisa, Francois Hollande flying into Baghdad and meeting with Iraq's new prime minister and the leader of the Kurdish-controlled region of northern Iraq. Kurdish fighters are in the thick of the battle against ISIS.
La France, en soutenant
President Hollande promising to push for a coordinated plan ahead of a meeting on Monday of international diplomats in Paris. France has already offered to join US airstrikes in Iraq, but it's also expected to propose working with Iran, something the US is currently opposed to. Lisa.
Thanks, Simon. The U.S. Navy says 2 fighter jets collided over the Western Pacific. 1 pilot rescued. They're still searching for the other one. The attorney for a South Carolina man accused of killing his 5 young children says he needs a mental health evaluation as soon as possible and has been treated in the past. They waived an initial court appearance today. A Massachusetts woman just appearing in court after the bodies of 3 babies were found in her home. Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers with this live.
Flies, bugs, and used diapers piled a 1.5 to 2 feet high. Just some of the filth found in the house in Blackstone. Erica Murray has pleaded not guilty to several charges, including fetal death concealment, witness intimidation, animal cruelty, and permitting injury to a child. 4 other kids were removed from the home last month and are in state custody. Murray is the mother of the 2 oldest children, but no birth records exist for the 2 youngest. Police found the body of one of the infants in the back of a closet on Wednesday, and the others were found Thursday. Lisa.
Thanks, Tanya. A big suspension in baseball. Orioles slugger Chris Davis out for 25 games, stretching into the postseason for using amphetamines, suspended without pay. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Did you know by age 50, half of all men have an enlarged prostate? This means more urges to urinate, longer bathroom trips, waking at night to urinate, or issues with intimacy. If this sounds familiar, call us now, because we're shipping free bottles of Super Beta Prostate to listeners of this station. Super Beta Prostate is a non-prescription formula guaranteed to reduce the symptoms of your enlarged prostate. It's yours free. Pay only shipping and handling. Just call 1-800-739-8212. In clinical trials, the ingredient in Super Beta Prostate was shown to reduce urges to urinate, improve bladder emptying, reduce waking at night to urinate, and improve quality of life. This Super Beta Prostate free offer is for listeners of this station, but it won't last. Don't wait. Just call 1-800-739-8212. That's 1-800-739-8212. Call 1-800-739-8212.
What in the name of Blackbeard's ghost is going on here?
Yar, it's the 2014 Pirate Pub Crawl in downtown Anchorage, Cotton, on Saturday, September 20th.
Shiver me timbers, we'll need to batten down the hatches and set our course to help raise money for the Blood Bank of Alaska's treasure chest, else we'll be sent to Davy Jones' locker.
Aye, navigate your way to Town Square at 7 p.m. for a group photo with your crew. Make way anytime after 7 p.m. to the participating pubs in downtown Anchorage with your treasure map to win 80,000 air miles and more.
Out! Jibe hole to AnchorageDowntown.org for more details and discounts on hotel stay, costumes, and parking at Easy Park lots for the night.
Yo ho, me hearties!
We best be seeing your scallywags at the Pirate Pub Crawl on September 20th.
Brought to you by the Anchorage Downtown Pirate Ship, K&H Graphics, the Blood Bank of Alaska, the Odom Corporation, Dooley's Tuxedos and Rentals, and Alaska Integrated Media.
Hi, this is Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company. Sellers, if you are going to sell your home, now may very well be the best time. The current interest rates are still very low in comparison to previous loan rates. Now is the time to take advantage of this uncommon phenomenon. We will look back at this period as a golden opportunity to buy or sell. Homeowners planning to sell should call us at 244-0821. We will be happy to come out and do a comparative market analysis at your convenience. Call Jonathan Martin at Harrington & Company, 244-0821. That's 244-0821.
When I grew up, I wanted to be a pro basketball player. An elementary school teacher. Oh, an Olympic gymnast.
No matter what dream you choose or where you are in life, your local Country Financial representative offers helpful advice on everything from auto and home insurance to financial planning, education to retirement, and business insurance too, so that you can continue to grow and dream. For more information, visit countryfinancial.com or call 1-866-COUNTRY. Country Financial. Grow your own way.
When Malarkey Mark Begich ran for U.S. Senator, he made a lot of claims about his record as Anchorage mayor. Begich knew the truth wouldn't come to light before the election. But now, history has caught up with Malarkey Mark. Under Begich, Anchorage taxes went up 27%. Under Begich, the city budget ballooned, a $142 million increase in spending. Under Begich, the city was saddled with unprecedented 5-year union contracts. Under Begich, a deficit of over $20 million was left for the next mayor to deal with. Begich left Anchorage in serious trouble. Alaska's Energy, America's Values paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. It's time to replace Malarkey Mark with U.S. Senator Dan Sullivan. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. EnergyandValues.com.
Hot Talk KOAN, man. Fagan and Biegel. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m.
Well, we made it to Friday. 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. 6 minutes past 8 o'clock. That's the number. No, that's not the number. That's the time. The number is 569-1080. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. We're on KOAN. KVNT. Again, the number 569-1080. 569-1080. Talking about the situation with Sarah Palin. Two incidents really have gone global or viral, as they say, the kids say today. Obviously, everybody's talking about the big Sarah Palin family brawl. ABC News, Washington Post, many mainstream media outlets have picked up on it. Rumblefest. And then the coincidence last night on Hannity when Palin's on there, she says that she apologizes. What was the wording exactly, Bonnie?
I owe America a global apology.
Yes. And Glenn brilliantly pointed out that that's really not an apology. That's when I speak, anytime anybody says global, it was, what was this? It was something.
Well, I can't owe you an apology for you doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Honestly. And it's not like Sarah wasn't out doing her best to try and win the seat. Of course, John McCain was a terrible candidate, but.
So you think that she issued this global apology to elevate herself in prominence to counter the devastating hit to her reputation?
Well, Sarah Palin, part of her brilliance is understanding that there is one side, the president's side, and here's what he said about it, and we're going to put troops on the ground, and gosh, it looks like he was really wrong in everything that he's done foreign policy-wise for a long period of time has turned out to be a total disaster. And not only that, but it's wasted the efforts and the lives of so many of our troops who fought hard to get Iraqi soil to be free. All right, so she understands that that's one side, and what she also understands is there is another side. How do I align myself with the other side as strongly as possible and put into words, and this is what she's so brilliant doing, put into words what everyone else is feeling about not having chosen a different president. I apologize.
But the bottom line, what you're saying is that it's self-serving.
It is. 100%.
Now
It elevates her. It puts her on the side of everyone else. It creates an emotional tie. It's brilliant. It's Sarah Palin.
Here's my struggle, and I think I'm actually beginning to learn on the job about my job and what I'm supposed to do as a talk show host. I agree with Bonnie that we are to be realists, not bury our head in the sands, and call things as they are. Yes, Sarah Palin, worst governor in the history of the state. Self-serving. She is a person who has so become obsessed with her own image that she's made a fool of herself. Is that a fair characterization? Currently,
she's done very well for herself.
Bonnie's not going to talk because she thinks everything comes out of her mouth.
I'm a little worried now.
No, let me tell you the difference, Bonnie, between, and this is, I've been as guilty of this. This is what I believe our job is as talk show hosts. I will say today that I believe that it is absolutely possible, excuse me, that Barack Hussein Obama, it's possible, will end up being the greatest president of the United States in the history of the United States. Let me explain why.
Yes, because your credibility just has declined dramatically.
Hear me out. Okay. What would happen if Mr. Obama would go before the American people in a national speech and say, I have realized that I have been operating my presidency under the premise that I don't trust you, the American people. And that everything that I have employed as president and fought for was designed to take away your freedom and to control you because I don't trust you. What if he gets an epiphany, lying in his bed at 2 a.m, and he says, I'm going to change that. I'm going to defund Obamacare, and I'm going to reverse my track. And I am going to do everything in my power in the remaining 2 years of office to promote freedom and not take away your control. Now, Talk Show America would say that's the most absurd thing I've ever said, or anyone's ever said.
It is absurd.
Same thing I would say to Sarah Palin. What if Sarah Palin came out and said, look, I went to war with the oil industry. It cost us. We lost out on the economic oil boom that every other province in North America got because of my legislation. And I now realize that. And I'm sorry. And if I had to do it over again, I would have worked with the oil industry to promote economic growth in our state. When talk radio says it's impossible for the people that they criticize to reach their full potential, that's why talk radio promotes hopelessness. I don't have a problem with demonizing Sarah Palin for passing ACEs. I don't have a problem with demonizing the president for Obamacare. But when you cut it off there and say there's no hope for Obama, there's no hope for Palin, then what you're promoting into the hearts of mankind that we'll never secure the border because we have it in the past. When you draw that line that this will never happen based on how you acted in the past, because let's look at it in a personal way. If I thought that I was not going to change for the better as a human being, I'm telling you right now, I'd end it today. And frankly, you could build a case, a very strong case. All that I've done in my life, all the bad decisions I've made, how could I possibly believe that I'm going to become a better person based on my track record? That belief that I'm going to be a better person is what keeps me alive. And when we assign to someone else who is a creature of God, a son or daughter of God, that they have no potential of changing, they have no possibility of undoing their mess and becoming a better person, we are sapping the life out of people who hear us. I don't mind the criticism. I don't mind calling it as it is. But please, for the listening audience, don't sap the hope out of them. Every single person listening to this show has made mistakes and wants to be a better person. But when we say, well, Barack Obama will never change, Sarah Palin will never change, John Boehner will never change, Dan Sullivan will never change, Lisa Murkowski will never change, what we're really doing is we're telling that listener in his heart of hearts, you'll never change. That's why talk radio is so destructive. And Bonnie, that's why when you go to that never thing, you are sapping the life and the hope out of people. 8:14, we'll be back.
Fagan AM. You're on with Fagan.
Best ingredients, the pizza comes out right. That's just what we're cooking for every appetite. Experience the flavor, call us right away. 24/7. a party day.
For the past 20 years, Sicily's Pizza has served Alaskans hot, fresh, quality pizza at a great price. And as a special thanks to all of their loyal customers, Sicily's is having a 20th anniversary sale. Any pizza, any size, for just 20 cents. Now that's an offer that you really can sink your teeth into. Call 333-8000 and order the Sicily's 20th anniversary special. Buy any pizza, any size, and get a second pizza for only 20 cents. Order online at sicilyspizza.com. Offer valid for pickup and carry out only. Best ingredients, best pizza, Sicily's.
Just call Sicily's Pizza. 333-8000.
This is Dr. Ellenberg. Are you tired of taking medications? Do your medications create more side effects than solutions? Do you want more than 15 minutes with your doctor? If you answer yes to those questions, you should consider calling the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine. At our center, we take the time to listen and focus on finding the cause of your health problems. Whether you have a cold, high blood pressure, diabetes, or cancer, we can help. Call the Ellenberg Center for Natural Medicine at 563-2366 or visit us online at drellenberg.com. We can help.
Do you own your own business? Are you thinking about starting one? Are you an employee who wants to get the job done the right way and move up the corporate ladder? Well, this is the show for you. Innovation, technology, and professional business advice you can use. Listen to Getting Down to Business with David Weatherholt on Hot Talk KOAN 95.5 FM and 1080 AM every Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Your small business resource with advice you can use.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel on Hot Talk. Weekdays 6 to 9 a.m. The Talk of the Valley. KVNT.
8:17 in the morning, Friday, September 12th, 2014. Dan Fagan, Glen Biegel, Bonnie Cameron. How you doing over there? You really are an incredibly pleasant person to be around.
Except when I'm seething.
Is it the seething look?
I think seething pretty much describes it.
Right. Well, let me give a 30-second synopsis of what I just tried to say. I think it's appropriate for talk radio to talk about reality and what's going on, even if it means criticizing leaders. Where I think talk radio loses its way is when we say that those leaders will never change, that Sarah Palin would never come clean on ACEs, that Barack Obama would never come clean on Obamacare and realize that it was a bad policy. That never. It saps the life and the hope out of people. That's my main point.
Okay, since you spoke for me, can I speak for myself?
Absolutely.
Okay, Obama on Obamacare, Sarah Palin on ACEs, my own thoughts on the border fence yesterday. These are all policy issues. You're talking about heart change. I totally believe there can be heart change. I'm talking about just policy. I'm going to go non-emotional on you here. I'm going to go all man on you.
But you said Sarah Palin would never come clean on ACEs.
That's a policy.
No, but it's her heart.
I don't look at it as a heart issue. She might change and say, you know what, I'm a pretty narcissistic person, and I need to change that, and I need to humble myself more. I don't think her thoughts on that policy are ever going to change.
But if she employed humility, she would see the truth.
That's your opinion. That's what you think.
You think ACEs was good legislation?
No, that's not what I said.
So you think it's true?
I think she thinks it's good legislation, and I don't think there are some things that I'm never going to change on. Pro-life being one of them, amnesty being another, high taxes. These are things that I'm never going to change.
I understand that, but do you agree with the basic premise that there's only one truth? Doesn't matter what you or I believe. Only one thing's true and the other thing's not true, right?
Some things, yes.
Well, I'll give you an example of the.
I'll give ACEs as an example. Sarah Palin would say it's true that we got more money into the Alaska State Treasury due to ACEs.
Yeah, well, nobody's disputing that.
Okay. Well, there you go. And what you're talking about, though, are priorities. Yeah. Because we lost out. In order to get that money, we lost out on massive investment.
Yeah.
You say, well, but we did get something that I consider to be a good, which is money in the state treasury. You'll say, well, I want you to adopt my priority system, which is I want a brighter future for Alaska.
Yeah.
You're so hung up on the ACEs thing
No, no,
and the
okay,
high taxes that you
but
tie
is that
that
what
in.
I say fair?
You tie that in with her heart issues.
Okay. Well, let's
And I don't.
Let's scratch ACEs. Let's say Obamacare. So you don't think Obama will ever come to the realization that taking away people's freedom and getting the government between them and their doctor, that he would, if he would really be open-minded and humble himself, that he would see the truth in that he would ever come clean on that?
That's open-minded to us. We think that that's a bad decision. He believes it's a good decision. He's probably never going to change that. That's a policy issue, not a heart issue.
So it is a chance he can change.
I think that even if he has a heart change, he's still going to have that policy.
But is it true that Obamacare is a good policy?
To him, yes.
I know, but what's true?
He gave 1.6 million more people, at the expense of $1 trillion a year, health insurance.
When
He
you
thinks
look
that's
at the good side of Obamacare and the bad side of Obamacare, does the good outweigh the bad, or the bad outweigh the good? Which is true?
Well, they didn't need insurance. They went and got health care free anyway, and we paid for it anyway. So his ideas that it did any good are wrong.
That
so he'd
side
have to address that first.
would say that is true.
I know,
Their
I'm
side.
not asking you.
No, it doesn't. Sometimes truth is what a person makes it.
But that's my whole point. Truth is not what a person makes it. There's only one truth.
There's some things you think that are true that I don't think are true.
Well, of course, but that doesn't change truth.
Well, that's my truth.
But it's all right. I'm going to talk slower. There's only one truth.
That was really condescending.
Yes or no?
They got 1.6 million people more on quote health insurance, even though they're not paying
There's
for it.
There's only one truth. Yes or no?
Is that true?
There is only one truth, and that's God.
But who decides who the truth is?
Please let me. I'm trying to ask Bonnie questions here. There's only one truth. Yes or no?
God.
Okay.
Yes, God.
Okay. Is that chair a chair or a couch? Right there.
It's a chair.
Okay. Do you believe that if I believe it's a couch, it's a couch?
Oh my God.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so there's only one truth about that chair. Doesn't matter what my perspective is, Glenn's or Brian's or
that
yours.
chair does not have a brain or a heart.
Oh my Lord. It's either a chair or it's not. No one's perspective changes the fact it's a chair. Is that true?
I don't know. I don't know where you're going.
Yeah, so you have to know where I'm going before you answer.
No. I just, you're trying to make a point, I'm trying to make a point, and I'm wrong, obviously.
What is a lucky chair?
There you go. That's a good question. And I think part of what we're talking about, first of all, Sarah Palin could change anything about herself. Anything.
Do you believe that, Bonnie?
Yes.
Yeah. And so she could decide that, this might be an epiphany for her. The opportunity for her family, having gotten into this huge row, public violence ensued, bad language was involved, people flipping other people off. I mean, this is the worst example. If you go out and look at Sarah Palin's recent dust up here in South Anchorage, this could be an opportunity for her to change her heart in any number of ways.
Bonnie, do you believe that Sarah Palin would come clean and admit that this brawl that she was involved in was wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So here we're talking about an individual realizing, and this I think Bonnie and I largely agree. There are many aspects to just about everything we do. If I congratulate somebody and somebody else feels bad because I didn't congratulate them and then they did exactly the same thing, what's true? Whether I should have congratulated the person or whether I failed to congratulate the other person. They're both true. Did it do good? Did it do damage? Yeah, it did good and damage at the same time because somebody had a bad feeling about what I said. Is what I said true? Absolutely, it was true. The person did a great thing, and I'm congratulating them for that. So their perceptions of what you mean when you say things, you just can't manage all of these things. And what you're suggesting here, Dan, and this is the part I have difficulty with this, you're asking the ACLU to become the ACLJ, the Alaska Center for Liberty and Justice, which is essentially their opposite on 99% of the issues. You're asking for people who want amnesty to now want anti-amnesty as an understanding of what the truth is when they believe that the truth is we want to help as many people as we can.
What I'm saying is that if something's true, it will be discovered through humility. And anytime someone practices true, honest humility, they will find truth. And that's the reality of life, in my opinion. And that's what I'm saying. As long as you believe that anyone's capable of discovering what is true, then I have no problem with you. But if you believe that people are not capable of employing humility, even if it radically changes what they believed in the past, and embrace truth, then I have a real problem with that.
Yeah, well, and I totally agree, because there you're talking about a person rather than a movement. The amnesty movement can't become the anti-amnesty movement.
I'm talking about individuals.
Because people determine truth.
Okay,
Right.
let me ask you a question.
Right.
There's been times in my life lately, too, where I have thought maybe the left is right about homosexual marriage, for
Okay.
instance.
Okay.
Maybe they're right about Jesus would have given to the poor. You know, why shouldn't our government give through our taxes?
Okay.
That you're saying that my truth, what you believe to be true, in my mind is now going to what they think is true.
There's nothing to do with what I believe. Truth has nothing to do
Well,
with what
you
I
would
believe.
agree with what I said about, we agree on
doesn't
homosexual marriage, and we agree on, the government not taking from us and giving to other people, and doing things with it.
Truth never changes. My perspective, my opinions, my beliefs are irrelevant to the existence of truth. There are many things that I believe that are not true. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of the situation. I don't know that there's a person on the planet who everything they believe is true. The mark of deception is you never know you're deceived. But the way you get out of deception into truth is through humility. And all that I'm asking is that don't rule anyone out from getting to deceived to truth by employing humility. That's all I'm asking. It has nothing to do with my opinion. It has nothing to do with your opinion. It has nothing to do with Glen's opinion.
I still can separate policies versus
I'm not
the
talking
heart.
about policies. I'm talking about people.
Okay, well, I think we'd agree that everybody can change in a heart. Their heart can change. Their emotions can change.
Even their understandings
Their
can change.
policies could change.
Mhm.
But it's just my opinion that her policy on taxes on the oil industry is not going to change. It's my opinion that Obama's policy on Obamacare is not going to change.
And you don't think that assuming, wow, now we're doing a hypothetical here. Are you going to be able to do that with me?
That's Glen's issue, not
Okay.
mine.
Assuming that Obamacare, that it is true, not what we believe, but it's just true that Obamacare is destructive policy. Assuming that. Are you with me on that?
That it's true?
It is true. Not
Okay.
what I believe, not what you believe. It is actually true that Obamacare is destructive. Will you give me that premise?
Yes.
Okay. You're saying that Barack Obama is incapable of humiliating or humbling himself to the point where he would see that truth and change his heart and come out and criticize Obamacare and admit he was wrong?
Yes.
You're saying it's impossible.
I'm saying that's impossible.
So you think Mr. Obama is incapable of humbling himself to the point where he could see truth?
How do you think Mark Begich can't see that Obamacare is
Hold on,
destructive?
please. I need the answer on this question.
I don't see it happening.
I know, because you are not attributing Mr. Obama the capability of being all that God created him to be.
I don't think it has anything to do with God.
It is exactly. God has a plan for Mr. Obama like he does Mother Teresa. Mother Teresa fulfilled hers. Everybody has the potential of being all that God created them to be. And you're saying that Obama doesn't. That kills hope. 829.
night, called his brother, and then the police reportedly confessed what he had done. Officers say they found the woman's body in the back seat of Thomas's vehicle, the parking lot, the local drugstore. Union workers rallied outside the Sheraton Anchorage this week. Labor.
I'm asking you to see, I'm dehydrated. I'm asking you to operate under the reality or the hypothetical that Obamacare is destructive. That's actually true. God says Obamacare is destructive. If all truth comes from God, God says, okay, Obamacare is destructive. Mm-hmm. So that's true. So it doesn't matter what anybody else believes. So how does a Barack Obama get from what he believes now to the truth? He humbles himself. He says, God, show me the truth. I'm so sorry. She's saying he can't do that. Mm-hmm. I
don't think I said can't. I said he won't.
You gotta be kidding me. That is an indictment on God's creation.
No.
It is our job. Please let me finish. It is our job as children of God to pull the best out in people, to pull the gold out in people. And you are saying Barack Obama has no gold in him. He cannot hear from God and see the truth and humble himself. And every person listening to that who has such great doubts about themselves ever becoming a better person, they take that as, because everybody hates themselves. I got news for you. People are full of shame. They don't think they can change. And when you say Barack Obama will never change, internally they say, well, I guess I probably couldn't either. That's what you're preaching. That's what you're spreading. You are sapping hope from people.
You are 20 years older than me. Do you think that there's... Do you realize you've had a lot longer to come up with these things?
So what, are you saying I'm right?
No, I'm saying that that's your truth. Do you realize that the left is saying the same thing about us? That's their truth.
Are you saying, are you even come close to responding to what I just said? Because everything you said is relevant. Either what I said is true or not. And your answer is I'm older?
We all have realizations at different points in our lives.
So you don't think you're sapping people's hope when you're saying certain people can't change? Because everybody who thinks they can't change, which is everybody, they take that in and it hurts their spirit. It kills their hope.
And this is a realization you've had in the last few years?
Oh.
Or more
recently.
Later? Okay.
Yeah. But it doesn't matter when I learned it. You have to either accept it or reject it. Do you think it's true or not?
Well, I'd have to think about it a lot more.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Because you're asking me to give you honest answers right now, and I can't, I'm not going to change my thought on that right this second.
Okay. Oh, all right. That's fair.
Because you're telling me that I'm like depressing everybody out there and not giving them hope and.
No, you're in that. We're talking about heart issues here now. We're not talking about intellectual. We all, we have a soul, we have a spirit, we have a body, and hope is such a, faith, hope, and love. Big three. The greatest of these is love. But when you take away people's hope, you debilitate them. I have to know I can be a better person. I have to know I can change. I have to know that the mistakes that I've made in the past is not who I am. And when I hear someone on the radio saying, well, that person, they're never going to come clean on what they did and change. That person's done. Then you are really saying to the audience, well, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm the same way. I'm not going to change. That's why that people can't change their policy is really you're saying they can't employ humility and find truth, which is without dispute. Not this whole it's my truth, it's your truth. That's only relevant. Something's true or it's not. And the only way you find truth is through humility. And as we condemn people and judge people to the point we say that they'll never find truth, then you're really causing some real harm. And I did it for years. Well, and by the way, isn't an answer.
He creates a relaxed atmosphere at his office. People actually like going to the dentist for Dr. Kiley.
I know it's important to have good dental health.
And you look better with good teeth. And Dr. Kiley offers cosmetic dentistry along with general care.
Visit Dr. Dan Kiley at lakeotisdental.com. Call him at 562-9209.
You're on with Fagan and Biegel in the morning. Ken Biegel in the morning on the Talk of the Valley.
All right, 8:35. Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie, right here on your radio, KOAN, KVNT. Our number 569-1080, 569-1080.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I'm so glad it's the weekend.
It is. I am mentally spent,
drained.
Well, good. Yeah, I wish we didn't talk about policy when we talked about this. We talked about character. I think people's character. I don't know that that when you get into policy discussions, I think it's confusing to me. Well, and I think it's confusing to a lot of people. No one out there should believe that their life is set, that their character is set, that their outcomes are set, that what will happen today is what happened yesterday or will happen tomorrow. People should not believe that, but I don't think that you should wrap that into, just as I think largely you leave politics at the door of a church. You talk about people's character and what they want out of life and how they approach their fellow man and what they're called to do in their families and in their communities and in their organizations, and that's what you're called to do. And so I think that when you wrap it up to a high-level intellectual policy decision and then wrap that into truth, and I just think it confuses it so much for me that it no longer becomes a useful discussion. I love the discussion that any day you get up and say, my life will change today dramatically. I am going to be such a different person today than I was yesterday. Do I have to believe something different about ACEs? Do I have to believe something different about taxes? Do I believe something different? No. You could be different today. There's no big aha moment that you have to have. You just have to get up and say, you know what? The person I was yesterday is not the person I will be today. I will be a better person today. That is a conversation anybody can have. They can have it at any time. When you're 30, you could have a drug problem. You could have an alcohol problem. You could have just beat your wife. Whatever it is, that conversation could happen at any time. But to wrap it into a big conversation about, well, we have to establish that the truth of this policy is that this is the only truth, and then we have to have a big conversation about, can I believe that? Can people change? Can people change their character? To me, that just confuses things. People's character could change on a moment, on a decision, in 1 second, and that's what everybody should realize.
You know, Phyllis Schlafly is?
Yeah.
Some call her the pioneer of the conservative movement.
Yes.
She came to prominence back in the late 60s when the peace love movement was.
Right. She was a counterweight to.
She was.
Yeah.
And I think she's in her 80s now. I had her on my show a couple times, and I asked her if she'd ever vote for a pro-choice candidate. She said, I can't. I said, why? She says, character. It's all character, Glenn. You cannot embrace the death of an innocent child in a mother's womb and have character. Policy decisions that you make and embrace reflect your character. And I'll give you that on taxes, in foreign policy, in trade, and all these other peripheral issues. But when it comes to life, that's a character thing. Because you have to so harden your heart to embrace the idea that the taking of a life of an innocent baby, the most vulnerable citizen on our planet, a baby inside a mother's womb who has no capability of defending him or herself, you have to be able to say that is a major character flaw. And the only way you're ever going to see it differently is if you humble yourself and you open your heart to what is true. Now, that's an extreme example, and I understand what you're saying because there's so many other issues out there that reasonable, good, decent people can disagree on, right?
Yeah.
And that's your point.
Well, my point is I don't want you to wait to come to some aha moment. What are you waiting for? Why are you waiting? If you see something you want to be, if you want to stop gossiping about people who work with you in your office, if you want to stop lying to your boss about how much time you're at work or whether you're stealing or not, if you want to stop cheating on your wife, that is a decision.
Well,
those are all decisions, and they're all character based, and they could all happen today, right now, today.
my main point is, and I know I've made it ad nauseum, but nobody seems to get it but me, so maybe I'm not putting it well. But I believe one of our jobs as citizens of this planet and God's creation is to call to gold in other people, to believe the best about other people. That's a very healthy culture. When we believe the best in other people, it's really believing the best in God's creation, because we're all created by God. And when we say that people will not change their policies, and I understand what you're saying. Who's to say what policy's right and what policy's wrong? But let's just use the abortion thing. If you were to say, I don't believe Barack Obama will ever change his mind on abortion, then you are, because that's an obvious truth. I think all three of us agree abortion is evil. Then you're saying that Barack Obama will never live out his destiny that God created for him. And every person who hears that, who also believes that they'll never live out God's destiny because of the mistakes they've made in the past, they say to themselves, well, if Barack Obama can't, neither can I. Because most people really deal with shame. And that's all I'm saying. Like. Mm-hmm. And is that really that controversial? And
see, on that I would agree with you.
Okay.
Because it's a heart issue. Yes. I don't look at it as a policy. I don't look at children as a policy issue.
Right.
I look at it as a heart issue.
Yeah. But I frankly, every issue is a heart issue. When you take the first 5 months of what Glenn goes out and earns for his family away from him, and you waste it, that's a heart issue too. On the scale of right and wrong, the abortion, killing the innocent child is here. Taking Glenn's money away that he's earning for his family and hopes to leave for his next generation is here. But all of these issues are heart issues. Every policy comes from a heart that has either sought after truth or hardened itself and taken the wrong position. Please don't say, but everybody has different opinions. That's irrelevant to the truth. So as we walk through life and we seek truth, we're going to get more. We're going to get better policies. I understand people can argue over what's true and what's not, but don't assign people the verdict that they will never find the truth on any policy. And that's what we say. We say Sarah Palin will never reverse on this policy. Obama will never reverse on this policy. Everybody's capable of finding what's true. I will grant it. Maybe it is true that ACEs is good policy. Maybe it is true that Obamacare is good policy. I'll admit that. I may be wrong about all that. But if you operate in the hypothetical and you say, yes, Obamacare is bad policy, and it's without dispute because that's true, and then you say Obama will never change his mind on it, then you're saying Obama isn't capable of finding truth, and he's God's creation. And when you say that about him, you say that about everybody listening, because people live in shame and guilt.
That's true. I would agree with that.
That's what I've been saying the whole show.
You said it very well that time.
Yes,
okay.
You did say it better that time.
All
when
right.
you put it on the scale, it makes it better.
Okay.
Dan, your thoughts are just so much higher than my thoughts that's what. No, I'm not going to say that. I'll never admit that.
569-1080.
Full truth there.
569-1080. We'll take a quick break. Final segment coming up. 8:44. I know.
KVN.
Talk about something light. Shed.
Take a nap.
Yeah, let me go. I'm gonna not eat. No, I don't care about all that. I mean, this one works just fine. I just got this one like 2 months ago. Yeah.
I want to get a new. Mine's dying, but I'm not going to get it yet. It's a 4S, yeah. And I like it. It doesn't have that fingerprint stuff on it.
I have that, but I've never used it.
I didn't get one comment on my thing on Begich running as, quote, an Alaskan.
Well, not yet. That's
nothing they could say, and that's the thing. That's why I think it's such a tight argument. But I thought that I strengthened it so significantly when I say not only does electing Begich not elect a, quote, Alaskan, it stops another
Guy in City Market, it's fresh Honey Crisp apples, so juicy.
them to put forth amendments. And even Amanda Coyne has to do that.
Yes.
Or nothing.
I thought she was coming today.
Yeah, she told me on Wednesday that she was going to let me know Thursday. She never did. I just texted her. But I think she sleeps really late.
Of savings on top brands like Samsung, Serta, Rubbermaid, and Kellogg's. Plus, get a free health screening valued at $150 this Saturday, September 13th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. only. Save big this weekend at our fall open house. No membership required. Join and save. Sam's Club. Life is better when you're in the club. See club for details.
I remember the moment. I'll never forget that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
Several of us were working to rescue a family. The house collapsed on top of the cellar door and trapped them.
We had to use Humvees and heavy machinery to move massive trees and debris.
We got them out.
We helped a lot of people out.
It felt good to know I could really make a difference.
Because I'm a citizen soldier in the National Guard.
Be there the moment your community needs you. Learn more at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Alaska National Guard, aired by the Alaska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hot Talk KOAN, man.
Valley KVNT.
$8:47. That's the number. No, that's not the number. That's the time. I don't know why I keep giving the
That
time.
is a number, though.
It is.
I'm going to give you credit for
It's
that.
three
Can we
numbers.
give him partial
That
credit,
sounds
Bonnie?
good.
Because this is the second time. That
Three
is a
numbers.
number. Several numbers.
569-1080. 569-1080.
Why won't anybody call and back me up
On what?
on everything?
Hi, I'd like to call and
Can't
back
you
Bonnie
tell?
up on everything.
Can't you tell I'm outnumbered here?
I think we're all on the same page. I do. I think that when you roll it up to the policy level, it gets much more confused. I think at the heart and at the personal level, I think we all totally agree. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think so. I think we're all on the same page.
Okay.
I don't think that it took us a while to get there. Mostly because of my stumbling ability to communicate. David, you're on.
I'm not even on the same book.
Whoa!
That's the same chapter or page.
Goodbye then. No, I'm joking.
Click. Hello, David. David.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Thanks a lot. I'm glad there's at least one female voice on with the trio today, as usual. But what I wanted to talk about, I'm with the Alaska Policy Forum, and I wanted to let those members of the teachers union here in Anchorage know that they have only until Monday, midnight Monday, to opt out of their union, that political portion of their dues. And it's actually, I have an article on our webpage, alaskapolicyforum.org, and actually they can download an application and fill it out and send it certified mail to the union. I have the address on there. And as well, this is about free speech and association.
Yeah.
And I have a listing of some of the organizations that their dues, their political portion of their dues actually go to.
I'm listening.
It's like Center for American Progress.
Wow.
Oh, man.
John Podesta. Media Choice, or the Media Matters. Netroots Nation.
Wow.
Which is a subdivision of MoveOn.org.
Far left organizations. And here's the thing, David, that most teachers probably don't realize. Silence is complete agreement. If you are silent on this and you do not put in this one-page piece of paper, you are in absolute agreement with all the left-wing policies that these guys are pushing.
You're exactly right. And, over $100 of your dues here, over $100 of your dues goes to national, and just about $100 goes for political purposes to support these organizations that are, let's say, very liberal or progressive. And whether you agree with that or not, you should not agree with the fact that they're speaking for you.
Yeah, if you want to send the money yourself. I mean, why and why do we allow the union to collect these dues anyway? This is what they found over in Wisconsin, is when they took away the automatic deduction out of your paycheck, thank you very much, of union dues. What was it, like 60, 65, 70% of teachers decided, or even public employees decided, you don't speak for me. I'll send the money myself.
It was a tremendous number, percentage of members, and same way in Nevada. But I might also add that if you look at the boxes on the letter, the application to get out of that political portion of your dues, which says pay agency fee only, then there's a little parenthetical expression that follows. And basically, by the way, you will lose your liability insurance of $1 million.
Wow.
Which is kind of a veiled threat.
Yes.
But I got good news for those teachers out there. Guess what? You can get $2 million of liability insurance at less cost. And I have a link there as well.
What's the link?
It's American Association of Educators.
Okay.
And they provide that insurance as well, twice as much.
Well, David, I appreciate you keeping us up to date on that.
Okay, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
569-1080, 569-1080. Let's go to Dana. Hello, Dana? No?
Yes.
I'm
executive director of the Orphan Moose Calf Program for the state of Alaska. And unfortunately, I get tied up in politics more than I want to. And listening to your show this morning, I got so sucked in. And I just have to do a hats off to Bonnie. I will stick up for her. She did great. I was rooting for you.
Are you a friend of hers, full disclosure?
I want to be.
Oh!
Are you related to her?
No.
Have you ever contributed any money to her?
Virtual hug.
No, but
Let's do a
I
virtual
want
hug.
you all to contribute money to me. So, no.
No, you were with the Orphan Moose Calf program there?
Yes, Moose Mamas. So, yeah, Bonnie needs to be Moose Mama. But that's not why I called. The reason I called was I do get discouraged with politics, whether it be, nationally or with our state. But listening to you guys, it was like going to church this morning. And maybe this is just my perspective, but listening to you three, there was a sudden shift in the dialogue when Bonnie brought up God. And that is truth.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys realized it, but from the outside looking in, your conversation changed.
Yeah.
And, when two or more gathered in his name, he is there also.
Yeah.
And our country was founded on God. And it was just such a refreshing conversation how you guys all came on the same page.
Yeah.
When we do realize that everybody was created for love. We were made in his image. And it is, I'm guilty of, as anyone, to look at some politicians, leaders, and there's no hope.
Yeah.
And that is so sad for our country. When my grandparents, your grandparents were growing, we respected our presidents.
Yeah.
No matter what their policy, even if we didn't agree on it,
Right.
we've lost total respect for our politicians, and that's sad.
Yeah.
And we do need to have hope that they do change. But I agree with Bonnie. It is a heart issue. And I believe our God is more powerful than anything.
And
they can change.
That is Dan's point, that with God all things are possible. And so maybe even policy can change. Ugh.
I know. It's that hope that they do, but at the same time, even Christ was, put on that cross, hearts are hardened. That's just the way it is in the times we live too. But I just wanted to call in and
Thank you.
Make that observation that I really appreciate Bonnie's
Hey, Dan,
strength to even bring up God these days.
how did you find us?
I'm a political whore. I have to admit. I love listening to you guys. And,
But how did you find us on the dial? Because we're kind of a new show, and how did you find us?
All right. So I'm friends with Lisa McGuire. She's been
on
going
with
Eddie the last few days, and she's done great. And so yeah, I've been listening to her and Eddie, and they've had some great conversations.
So you had the radio on this station from the afternoon?
I downloaded the app this morning, taking my kids to school.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. But anyway, it's just
tell
really
your friends.
refreshing.
Tell your friends about
Absolutely.
us. We appreciate that.
Absolutely, I will.
Thank
but
you.
anyway, good job, guys.
Thank you,
Thank
Janet.
you.
Appreciate it. That's something we've struggled with. This is a radio station that really hasn't been on the map much. A lot of people, where are you on KOAN? Never heard of it.
Yep.
So we need to, if those of you who are listening who've enjoyed the show and it's become a habit for you, do us a solid. Put it on your Facebook page. Tell your friends. We know we're going to grow. We know we're going to, eventually get to where we need to be audience-wise, but that would help us out a lot.
Yeah, that's a big part. If you like the show and just letting people know who you know about it, we're not going to embarrass you. We have fun. We have deep conversation and I think important conversation, which maybe a lot of times is left out of talk radio.
There aren't a lot of people, Glenn, who would come in and face off two seasoned bulldog talk show hosts and hold our own.
Ooh.
And get complimented by listeners.
Absolutely. It is amazing to me what this woman, and that's not a pejorative term, is it?
No, I don't care about that stuff.
Who has literally come from homeschool mom to debating, frankly, some of the best debaters in the state who've debating people for years on the radio, and here she is. She's mixing it up with us.
Yeah,
it's pretty
Let
impressive.
me go pinch myself.
And we're thrilled you're on the show. You've really made it a much better show.
Oh, thanks.
You agree with that?
Completely.
Brian, you agree with that?
I was telling
Brian's nodding his head.
I was telling someone the other day that sometimes I get so enthralled with listening to you, I forget I'm here, and oh yeah, and then you look at me and I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to say something. I get to say something.
Well, anybody could say something. You just got to call 569-1080.
That's right.
They could Facebook us or anything else.
But I used to yell at the radio, so now it's just nice to sit here and do it to your faces.
Have you ever chucked the radio out of a window?
No.
How close have you come?
Oh, I've been there.
Okay,
yeah.
You've thought about it.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember if I ever have. I know I wanted to many.
And then
many
there's times I'm like, amen. So.
Yeah. That's Talk Radio.
Fagan, Biegel, and Bonnie here every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. We're on KOAN, KVNT, 95.1 FM in Anchorage, 92.5 FM in the Valley and Anchorage, 1080 a.m. in Anchorage, 1020 a.m. in the Valley. We're everywhere. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend.